states should take control of the Arctic island. Protesters say that Greenland is not for sale and warn that such ambitions threaten the rights of smaller nations worldwide. Here's more on the story.
Waving Greenland's red and white flag, demonstrators filled the streets of Copenhagen calling for respect for Greenland's sovereignty. Protesters held placards reading "Hands off" and "Make America Smart Again," clearly rejecting any US attempt to acquire the semi-autonomous island. Many said the issue goes beyond the Greenland, warning that powerful nations should not dictate the future of smaller countries.
We're protesting against the orange dictator in the US who is trying to bully his way to undermine the sovereignty of the Greenlandic people and take away their right to decide who they want to be part of.
This is important for the whole world, said one protester, adding that no country, big or small, should ever be treated as a commodity.
This is important for the whole world. There are many small countries. None of them are for sale.
Greenland is a self-governing territory of Denmark and a NATO ally, but it holds strategic importance due to its location and vast natural resources. US President Donald Trump has repeatedly stated that America's control over Greenland is necessary, calling anything less than ownership unacceptable. His remarks have sparked strong reactions in Denmark and Greenland, with leaders and citizens firmly rejecting the idea. More demonstrations are planned across the weekend, including in NUUK, Greenland's capital, as calls grow louder for respect, sovereignty and self-determination.
All right, viewers, news from the Middle East now. Iran's Supreme Leader Ayatollah Ali Khamenei has launched a fierce attack on the US President Donald Trump, calling him a criminal for backing anti-government protesters in Iran. In his first admission of the scale of casualties, Khamenei claimed that thousands of people were killed during the recent unrest, blaming demonstrators and also accusing Washington of directly fueling the violence. Here's a quick report.
Iran's Supreme Leader Ayatollah Ali Khamenei has accused US President Donald Trump of directly intervening in Iran's protests, branding him a criminal responsible for bloodshed and destruction in Iran. Khamenei blamed demonstrators for the deaths of several thousand people, the first time an Iranian leader has publicly acknowledged the scale of casualties.
ما رئیس جمهور آمریکا رو مجرم می‌دانیم، هم به خاطر تلفات، هم به خاطر خسارات، هم به خاطر تهمتی که به ملت ایران زد.
Khamenei said President Trump openly encouraged unrest, claiming Washington provided moral and military backing to protesters in Iran.
این خصوصیت در این فتنه بود که شخص رئیس جمهور آمریکا، شخص خود او تو این فتنه دخالت کرد، حرف زد، اظهار نظر کرد، تهدید کرد، فتنه‌گران رو تشویق کرد، پیغام داد از آمریکا به این کسانی که رو بعد خواهم گفت چی بودن که بری جلو نترسید. گفت از شما حمایت میکنیم، حمایت نظامی میکنیم. یعنی خود رئیس جمهور آمریکا وارد فتنه شد، جزء فتنه است.
The Supreme Leader described protesters as tools of foreign powers, accusing them of vandalism, arson and deadly violence in the Middle Eastern nation.
جوانان هیجانیان، نوجوانان هیجانیان، میان وارد میدان میشن، کارهایی میکنن که نباید بکنن، شیطنت هایی میکنن که نباید بکنن.
At least 3,090 people were killed during the protests over Iran's struggling economy, the deadliest unrest in Iran in decades. Trump, however, struck a more conciliatory tone a day earlier, claiming Iran had cancelled mass executions, signaling a possible step back from military escalation between the two. Iranian leaders, however, continue to accuse the United States and Israel of fomenting the unrest, a charge that was reiterated by Iranian president in a call with Russian President Putin. As tensions remain high, Iran has returned to an uneasy calm, but the sharp rhetoric underscores the deepening confrontation between the two countries.
And Iranians living across Greece and Rome took to the streets, showing solidarity with the protesters back home and voicing opposition to the Iranian government. Meanwhile, the authorities in Iran are reportedly shutting down internet access once again, making communication and verification increasingly difficult. Well, the death toll from the ongoing protests and unrest is now said to have surpassed 3,000. Here's a brief report.
Iranians residing in Greece and Rome took to the streets to show their support for protesters in Iran. In Greece, they gathered outside the Iranian embassy, chanting and waving flags in support of the protesters. Iranian government has shut down internet access in the country, making it nearly impossible to communicate with the people residing in Iran.
Από κάπου να βρω μήπως τους βρω μέσα στους νεκρούς ή μέσα στους, αλλά δυστυχώς βγαίνει με σταγονόμετρες ειδήσεις, οπότε δεν γνωρίζουμε τι γίνεται.
Across Europe, hundreds of exiled Iranians took to the streets and protested against the Iranian regime.
Noi sappiamo.
Women who took a prominent role in these protests marched against Iran's ruling government. One of the protesters stated that due to the disruption in connectivity, nobody knows how many people are dying in Iran.
Però qua è un intervento di qualsiasi tipo umanitario è necessario, non si può chiudere gli occhi. Chi chiude gli occhi è chi dice insomma che gli ayatollah sono contro il regime di Netanyahu e contro l'America. Non sa quante persone stanno morendo ogni giorno. Adesso noi non sappiamo, hanno creato una prigione a cielo aperto.
According to certain reports, the death toll is said to have crossed 3,000 due to the civil unrest in the Middle Eastern nation. While many in the diaspora believe that theocracy has been toppled, the idea of a new Iran remains under a question mark.
All right, viewers, let's get to some other news. Venezuela's opposition leader, Maria Corina Machado, has spoken about the country's uncertain political transition, expressing confidence that democracy will return, even as a timeline for fresh elections remain unclear. While the US President Donald Trump has signaled support for elections, no roadmap so far has been announced. And Machado also opened up cautiously about her dramatic escape from Venezuela after months in hiding. Here is more.
Venezuela's opposition leader Maria Corina Machado described the country's political transition in careful and measured terms. Machado avoided giving any deadlines for fresh elections, a move that could complicate Trump administration's stated goal of stabilizing Venezuela.
So, of course, the result of this hard process will be a society based on these values. A society that is profoundly pro-America. And I want to insist on this. Delcy Rodriguez, yes, she's a communist. She is the main ally and representation of the Russian regime, the Chinese and the Iranians. But that's not the Venezuelan people, and that's not the armed forces as well. So I am profoundly confident that we will have an orderly transition. This is a complex phase we are right now. Some of the dirty work is being done by them. But then the result of a stable transition will be a proud Venezuela who is going to be the best ally the United States has ever had in the Americas.
Despite the uncertainty, Machado said she is confident that the process will ultimately restore democracy and revive the Venezuelan economy. Machado's party is widely believed to have won the 2024 elections, results that were rejected by President Nicolas Maduro's government. Asked repeatedly about what advice she has given to US President Trump, Machado declined to offer any specifics.
Well, I think I don't need to urge the president of specific things. I think it's very clear what has to be done right now. We exchange views about the implications of several actions. And I just want to tell you that I was very impressed of the degree of information he has, how closely he follows the situation in Venezuela, and how much he's concerned about the well-being of our people.
Citing security reasons, Machado said she will not reveal full details of her escape until the Maduro regime can no longer harm those who helped her.
Viewers, let's take a look at some more news from across the world. The Iraqi army completely took over a key US military base after US withdrawal from the region. The Ain al-Assad base is now under Iraqi control. The US forces are fully withdrawn from this air base in western Iraq in implementation of the agreement with the Iraqi government. Ain al-Assad has hosted US and coalition troops for years and has been reportedly targeted by the Iran-backed armed groups during periods of heightened regional tensions. Syrian government forces have now entered northern towns of Maskana and Aleppo after Kurdish fighters withdrew from the region. The move came after the command of Kurdish-led fighters said it would evacuate the area in an apparent move to avoid conflict. The two towns had changed hands after deadly fighting erupted earlier this month between the government troops and the US-backed and Kurdish-led Syrian Democratic Forces in the city of Aleppo. A massive search operation is underway in Indonesia as a passenger plane with 11 people on board went missing yesterday. The ATR-42 turboprop was carrying 11 people, including 3 officials from the Ministry of Marine Affairs and Fisheries. Contact was lost in the afternoon following a correction to the flight's landing approach. Multiple search and rescue teams supported by Air Force helicopters, drones and ground units are deployed as search is on for the missing plane. Thousands of students took to the streets of Serbia to protest against corruption. Protests erupted against President government after leading more than a year of mass demonstration that shook his autocratic rule in the Balkan country. Protesters have accused the government of rampant corruption that they believe led to a 1st of November 2024 train station disaster, leading to the tragic deaths of 16 people. Alright viewers, let's get you some more international news. Severe flooding has displaced dozens of families in eastern South Africa after days of heavy rain there. Residents in the Mangweri area say that poor drainage has worsened the damage, leaving homes underwater and belongings completely destroyed. With more rain forecast for the region, authorities warn that the suburban areas could deteriorate further. Take a look.
Homes and yards were submerged in floodwaters in Mangweni, a small neighborhood in a South African province.
Angisakhulumi futhi impahla vele ngilothi soyadibona sitinakela endlini asinako ukugqoka kumandi konke la endlini kumandi silale emandini.
Residents say water reached knee height inside some homes, soaking clothes, bedding and furniture and forcing families to live in damp conditions.
The situation is dire. You can see even water inside the stand, some water that are in the house, which make the life more difficult for the individuals. Obviously, our plan is to evacuate some of these families. Some they are not willing. simply because of their assets. They are afraid that they will be stolen.
Torrential rains and flooding across southern Africa have killed more than 100 people in recent weeks, with South Africa being one of the most affected countries. Local officials say damaged roads and bridges have made access difficult, while many residents fear leaving their homes because of possible theft.
Ithi kuma kancane umasipala wethu akhona kusisita abone ukuthi wenda yipi iplan ukuthi lamandi lawa angadami noma angandlula la mhlambe ngale kwefence.
Weather services have warned that more rain is expected, raising concerns that already saturated areas could face further flooding in the days ahead.
And in some other news, the Syrian government forces have moved into a northern town after Kurdish-led fighters announced that they were withdrawing from the area. The Syrian military says that it now has full control and is working to clear the explosives there, while US officials say that there are no American forces on the ground. More than 11,000 people are reported to have fled amid the fighting. Here's a quick report.
Syrian forces entered the outskirts of a northern town after Kurdish-led SDF forces withdrew from Aleppo. The Syrian military stated on Saturday that government forces are in full control of the town of Deir Hafir. It is reported that there is no presence of US-backed and Kurdish-led democratic forces on the edge of Deir Hafir town. The Syrian military stated that after Deir Hafir, troops would move towards the nearby town of Maskana to remove explosives. More than 11,000 people are said to have flooded the towns of Deir Hafir and Maskana to reach government-controlled areas. Tensions are said to have eased in the area after US military officials held talk with SDF representatives. The US maintains good relations with both sides and has urged peace since clashes broke out between them.
Viewers, time to take a short break. Up next is big story from West Bengal, where LOP Suvendu Adhikari has written to the governor demanding the deployment of central paramilitary forces in violence-hit Murshidabad. All the updates on West Bengal violence and much more after a short break.
आधे बाउल दही में 4 चम्मच MDH चटनी पुदीना मसाला डाला, स्टर करो, पुदीना चटनी तैयार। MDH चटनी पुदीना मसाला।
At Amity University's 2-week summer school, students of classes 9 to 12 get to explore future undergraduate programs as per their interest from over 30 disciplines. Students attend lectures by Amity University faculty, gain experience at over 400 labs and learning studios, and attend personality enhancement workshops. Register now at amity.edu/summer-school.
थोड़े में ज़्यादा स्वाद ये हित तो है इसकी खास बात। वाओ मामा, क्या स्वाद है? अरे मेरे राजा। सबका राजा आर्थिक मसाला।
MDH की देगी मिर्च,
देगी मिर्च का तड़का, अंग अंग फड़का।
MDH की देगी मिर्च।
Iran is boiling. Iranians are protesting against the Khamenei regime. U.S. President Donald Trump has urged Iranians to keep protesting and take over institutions, and has assured them that help is on the way.
Well, no, they're starting to, it looks like, and there seem to be some people killed that aren't supposed to be killed. These are violent, if you call them leaders, I don't know if they're leaders or just they rule through violence. But we're looking at it very seriously. The military is looking at it. and we're looking at some very strong options. We'll make a determination. What would they do?
This week on Get Me Right is Somanath Swabhiman Parv, marking 1,000 years of the attack by Mahmud of Ghazni, the culmination of a battle of narratives that started with the coming to power of Narendra Modi as Prime Minister in 2014. Also this week, India reached the world with Responsible Nations Index, RNI, our very own rating system that will judge nations based on Indian yardsticks and not that of Moody's and Fitch. And has Donald Trump got it all wrong with tariffs as India's exports to the United States continue to rise and China records its highest trade surplus in history with over US $1.2 trillion. This weekend, Saturday and Sunday, only on Republic TV.
दादी के हाथों का जादू और खुशबू से महकता घर, माँ की मुस्कुराहट और खाने की सुगंध। MDH गरम मसाला,
क्योंकि हर रिश्ता है स्वाद से जुड़ा। इसको घर पे लगाओगे तो शादी का तो पता नहीं, पर घर पक्का नहीं टूटेगा।
रुंगटा नहीं तो घर स्ट्रॉन्ग नहीं। रुंगटा स्टील TMT बार एकदम सॉलिड।
पहाड़ों में एक हाइकिंग स्टिक भी बन सकती है।
प्योर शाही पनीर मसाला, डिलीशियस, हेल्दी एवरीडे।
केसरिया से मन जोगी हुआ रे, दिल झूमे देखो मतवारा हुआ रे। केसरिया से मन जोगी हुआ।
हर पल मनाओ केसरी त्योहार। विमल, बोलो जुबान केसरी।
MDH की हल्दी मिर्ची धनिया करे कमाल, ये रंग दे, ये खुशबू दे, ये तीखा, ये कम पड़े, क्या निराला MDH मसाला।
Iran is boiling. Iranians are protesting against the Khamenei regime. U.S. President Donald Trump has urged Iranians to keep protesting and take over institutions, and has assured them that help is on the way.
Well, no, they're starting to, it looks like, and there seem to be some people killed that aren't supposed to be killed. These are violent, if you call them leaders, I don't know if they're leaders or just they rule through violence. But we're looking at it very seriously. The military is looking at it, and we're looking at some very strong options. We'll make a determination. Well, if they do that, we'll consider things targets they wouldn't believe. If they do that, we will hit them at levels that they've never been hit before. They won't even believe it. I have options that are so strong. So, I mean, if they did that.
From Asia's largest news headquarters, setting the agenda for Bharat. You're watching Republic.
Good morning, viewers. You're watching Republic TV with me, Hina Sharma. Ladies and gentlemen, get ready for another edition of India's definitive platform on the future of artificial intelligence. Republic Media Network proudly presents the Republic AI Summit and Awards 2026, a powerful convergence of technology leaders, innovators and visionaries shaping India's AI journey. Centered on the theme, Cracking India's AI Code, the summit will spotlight bold ideas, responsible innovation and breakthrough leadership driving India's AI ambitions. The day culminates with the Republic AI Awards 2026, honoring excellence and impact across the AI ecosystem. Catch us live on 19th of January 2026 as India's AI future takes center stage only on Republic TV. Now, before we begin, let's take a look at the headlines at 9. Trump imposes a 10% additional tariff on 8 NATO nations sending troops to Greenland for a surveillance mission starting 1st of February. West Bengal LOP Suvendu Adhikari writes to governor, demands deployment of central paramilitary forces in violence-hit Murshidabad. India seeks early consular access for 16 Indian crew detained by Iran. Eknath Shinde moves Sena corporators to a hotel amid fears of poaching and battle for BMC's mayoral post. PM to lay foundation stone for Kaziranga elevated corridor project worth over 6,950 crore rupees in Assam's Kaliapur. Women's doubles semi-final match at India Open between comes to a halt because of pigeon poop incident at Indira Gandhi Stadium. So ladies and gentlemen, the India Open has been marred by another poop incident. It's a big breaking coming from Indira Gandhi Stadium. Again, the second incident happening in a week. Match halted due to pigeon poop drop, this time again at Indira Gandhi Stadium. The match was being played between world number 1 Tan Ning and Liu Shengshu and Korea's Baek Ha-na and Lee So-hee, but it was halted again because of the debilitating state of infrastructure in the national capital. It's a shame, ladies and gentlemen. Republic reported on it earlier and we are reporting on it again. Second incident. This is not an isolated one that we are seeing. Earlier also we saw the same embarrassment happening at the Indira Gandhi Stadium in New Delhi. The match was disrupted due to bird droppings. The stadium is definitely, we can say, is in poor condition. A lot of issues, garbage, pan stains, cigarette butts strewn around, monkeys jumping on the seats where viewers, spectators must be sitting, and the match was happening between these two players, world number 1 Tan Ning. This is an unacceptable and highly unprofessional environment, is what we are hearing. There is some statement. The Badminton World Federation, BWF, has acknowledged the issues, and in a statement it has said, the body has said that the Indira Gandhi Sports Complex is an upgrade from previous venues but still requires attention to cleanliness, hygiene and animal control. Well, the sports minister is absolutely silent on the matter, has added to the controversy, in fact, with politicians like Abhishek Singhvi and Priyanka Chaturvedi calling for better infrastructure and governance in the national capital. Of course, this is a big breaking coming at this point in time. Match again halted between the international players in the Indira Gandhi Stadium due to pigeon poop, live and breaking. So I have with me my reporter Ishan with me on ground. A massive breaking, Ishan. What more can you tell? Do you hear any statements coming out of Sports Ministry or any other voices from the authority?
The Sports Ministry and other authorities have not responded yet. We are following up on them consistently regarding this incident. The incident occurred when the play between the world number 1 duo from China and South Korea match was ongoing, and a pigeon's nest and its debris fell on court. This prompted the referee to stop the match in between and call for a cleanup. Thereafter the cleanup, the match was continued, but this disruption caused a massive incident because this disrupted play and the flow of the game. And this is what some of the players are claiming, that such incidents of disruption of matches due to pigeon poop, other debris, and unsanitary conditions causes a disruption in the play. And this disruption eventually may lead to changes in the results, because prior to the prior to the incident, the match was going to 6-3. And after the incident, the match ended with the Chinese team winning 21-12. So this disruption somehow played an...
Ishan, we do know that the government is absolutely silent on this matter, though we are hearing opposition parties, opposition's top voices urging the government to understand and improve the infrastructure in the national capital. I mean, come on, international players are coming in the national capital to play the game. But what I want to ask you, do you hear any voices from the players itself? Any comments from the players? Because the match was stopped in between.
I have personally tried reaching out to the players currently. They have not issued a statement yet. The team management has said that they will get back to me once the players have a statement. Right now, Denmark, Andre Andersen has withdrawn from the matches, citing high AQI level, saying that his health will not permit him to play the matches in Delhi. Furthermore, Singapore, Lee Kuan Yew has expressed disgust during his match, halted twice by the pigeon poop incident, and he was playing against Indian player HS Pranay. So these are international players that are either withdrawing from playing matches in Delhi or have been totally disgusted by the conditions at the stadium, and more importantly, they are saying that this causes a psychological and painful drawback to them because they want to play these international world level matches, and India as a host should be able to cater to an international standard of playing these games. Now, Lee Kuan Yew's match with HS Pranay was stopped twice in between because the amount of poop build-up on the
so, Ishan, the conditions, you must be there in the stadium, seeing everything. International players arrived in the national capital to play the game. The hygiene conditions are pathetic. When you were on the ground at the stadium, what exactly did you manage to experience as far as hygiene is concerned, as far as the other conditions? For example, garbage we saw in the visuals that is strewn inside the arena of the stadium.
This is true. The condition over here is not something to brag about. The conditions, there is overgrowth everywhere. We can see stains everywhere. The toilets in the stadium were in a very pathetic condition. And the most important thing that I saw, that there was a lot of wildlife roaming around freely. I could see stray dogs inside the stadium, inside the campus of the stadium. And more importantly, I also could see a lot of feral monkeys in and around the stadium and hanging from the banisters. So this not only causes a hygiene concern, but this also causes a safety concern because a lot of these animals and wildlife could attack the players or the guests that have come to see the matches.
Well, Ishan, thank you so much. Our special correspondent there speaking to us from the stadium and telling us the pathetic conditions at the Indira Gandhi Stadium in the national capital. Let's move on to another story that we have. A massive protest is erupting in West Bengal. I beg your pardon, it erupted in Bengal yesterday in Beldanga over the alleged killing of a migrant worker. It rapidly spiraled into a violence, paralyzing rail and road networks. What began as a local agitation has now triggered serious security concerns, with strategic routes blocked and with police action as well delayed. Questions are now being raised as to the state's democracy. The unrest unfolds at a sensitive time. It has raised alarms about its wider impact on national security and connectivity to the northeast. We have a report.
Unrest grips West Bengal's Murshidabad district. This is as protests erupt in Murshidabad over the alleged murder of migrant worker Alauddin Sheikh from Jharkhand. Hundreds of locals gathered on a highway at Barua More in Beldanga, bringing traffic on NH12 to a standstill and triggering long queues of stranded vehicles. And the NH12 is a key highway, a major route that connects to Chicken's Neck of the Siliguri corridor. Sheikh's family, accompanied by locals as part of the protests, have also damaged the Sealdah railway division track at Beldanga, set tires ablaze and have even taken to sleeping on tracks in attempts to disrupt the train services. Visuals also arose of stones being pelted by the mob of protesters.
দেশের ভবিষ্যতে এরা বুঝতে পারছো দেখছো ট্রেন ওরা কিরকম অবরোধ করতে হয় এরা জানে এই ছোট ছোট ছেলেবেলাই বস্তা বস্তা করে পাশে লেগে রেল লাইন কিরকম আটকে রেখে দিয়েছে এই যে এই ভাইটা পরশুদিনকে মেরে গলায় দড়ি দিয়ে এই যে রাস্তায় ফেলে রেখে গেছে বুঝতে পারলে তোমরা বেশি বেশি করে শেয়ার করো সবাই বেরোনা চলে এসো রাস্তা অবরোধ করার জন্য দেশের ভবিষ্যতে এরা বুঝতে পারছো দেখছো ট্রেন ওরা কিরকম অবরোধ করতে হয় এরা জানে এই ছোট ছোট ছেলেবেলাই বস্তা বস্তা করে পাশে লেগে রেল লাইন কিরকম আটকে রেখে দিয়েছে এই যে এই ভাইটা পরশুদিনকে মেরে গলায় দড়ি দিয়ে এই যে রাস্তায় ফেলে রেখে গেছে বুঝতে পারলে তোমরা বেশি বেশি করে শেয়ার করো সবাই বেরোনা চলে এসো রাস্তা অবরোধ করার জন্য দেশের ভবিষ্যতে এরা বুঝতে পারছো দেখছো ট্রেন ওরা কিরকম অবরোধ করতে হয় এরা জানে এই ছোট ছোট ছেলেবেলাই বস্তা বস্তা করে পাশে লেগে রেল লাইন কিরকম আটকে রেখে দিয়েছে এই যে এই ভাইটা পরশুদিনকে মেরে গলায় দড়ি দিয়ে এই যে রাস্তায় ফেলে রেখে গেছে বুঝতে পারলে তোমরা বেশি বেশি করে শেয়ার করো সবাই বেরোনা চলে এসো রাস্তা অবরোধ করার জন্য
It took about 48 hours for the police to have finally taken action in response to the protests. Locals reported that the police bait and charged the agitators at a few places to disperse the crowd as they commenced their crackdown on the Beldanga protesters. All of this amidst the Prime Minister's visit to the state. Allegations arise from the BJP as to this unrest and mobocracy being an attempt of CM Mamata Banerjee to turn Bengal into Bangladesh. All eyes remain on West Bengal as to how it navigates the aftermath of the migrant killing, consequent protests and unrest, and the delayed action from state and security authorities.
Now let's look at the BMC elections which concluded day before yesterday. Asaduddin Owaisi has spoken exclusively to Republic TV on the Maharashtra local body election results. Reacting to AIMIM's performance, Owaisi said that Thakres must now introspect. Let's have a detailed look at the report.
In Maharashtra's local body elections, the political script shifted. Asaduddin Owaisi's AIMIM has delivered a surprise punch by winning 125 seats across local bodies, outperforming Sharad Pawar's NCP and Raj Thakre's MNS. Once considered a marginal force in the state, AIMIM now claims a bigger footprint than the Thakre brand in key pockets. Asaduddin Owaisi exclusively spoke to Republic on the Maharashtra polls.
I'm thankful to the people of Mumbai, especially the people of Cheetah Camp and the assembly constituency of Shivaji, Mantkun, Govandi, wherein out of 8 wards under the leadership of Atiq and with special focus attention by our MLA Ahmed Balala. And we had 6 wards which included a Dalit municipal corporator as well. So, we should have won some more, but we'll ensure that this continues, and we'll improve our party's prospects in other areas as well.
Beyond Maharashtra, Owaisi signals expansion plans as he claimed that his party will contest elections in Bengal.
Law and order has become a huge concern in West Bengal, and with the upcoming elections also, how is the MIM party looking at West Bengal?
We have sent Mr. Adil Hassan, who is our party spokesperson as well. He has gone to Bengal. We are going to speak to him along with our Bihar State President Akhtar Ali Maan Sahab, our MLAs Tawseef Alam Sahab, Murshid Alam Sahab, because that area is adjacent to the Simanchal area. And then we'll take a call on it and we'll decide on it.
As counting concluded in Maharashtra's local body elections, the results have pointed to a fragmented and a competitive political landscape.
Now, staying on this story, a political power struggle is brewing within the ruling Mahayuti alliance after its sweeping victory in the BMC elections. Now, even as the BJP Shiv Sena alliance celebrated its mandate, cracks have begun to surface over the coveted post of Mumbai mayor, as per the sources. According to Republic sources, Eknath Shinde-led Shiv Sena has a staked claim to the mayor's post, proposing a split-term formula and demanding the position for the first 2.5 years of the 5-year term. For now, Shinde's show of strength is being seen as a tactical move to increase bargaining power with the BJP, even as the final call is expected to rest with the BJP High Command. More in this report.
After a sweeping victory for the BJP Sena's Mahayuti in the BMC polls in Maharashtra, Mumbai is witnessing power play and hotel politics as Shiv Sena has moved all its newly elected corporators in a hotel in Bandra. The real power tussle has begun, with Shinde Sena demanding the mayor post in India's richest municipal corporation as per sources. As per a report, tensions have emerged within the BJP Shiv Sena alliance. The Eknath Shinde-led Shiv Sena has proposed a split-term formula demanding the Mumbai mayor's position for at least the first 2.5 years of the 5-year term. Shinde sees this as a befitting tribute to Shiv Sena's founder Bal Thackeray on his 100th birthday on January 23rd. While the BJP has emerged as the single largest party with 89 seats, the Shinde faction with 29 seats is positioning itself as a kingmaker.
शिवसेना सिंधे गुट के नगर सेवकों और नेताओं ने यह भी इच्छा जताई है कि मुंबई में 2.5 साल के लिए महापौर का पद दिया जाए, यानी 2.5 साल के लिए बीजेपी से महापौर हो और 2.5 साल के लिए यहां पर एकनाथ शिंदे वाली शिवसेना के महापौर हो। एक मसला ये है सूत्रों के हवाले से। दूसरा मसला ये भी है सूत्रों के हवाले से कि मुंबई में अगर बीजेपी के महापौर बनाए जाते हैं और उप महापौर शिवसेना सिंधे गुट के होंगे, तो दूसरी तरफ ठाणे में शिवसेना शिंदे गुट के महापौर हो जाए और बीजेपी के उप महापौर हो जाए। अब इन दोनों मसलों को लेकर रिसोर्ट पॉलिटिक्स की बात सामने आ रही है, खींचतान का माहौल है। अब एक बार आपको 2019 याद होगा, महाराष्ट्र की सियासत में एक बड़ा टर्निंग पॉइंट, उसके बाद 2022 जून और जुलाई का महीना आपको याद होगा कि किस तरीके से एकनाथ शिंदे गुवाहाटी चले गए थे और रिसोर्ट पॉलिटिक्स की एक तस्वीर सामने आई थी। लेकिन एक बार फिर बीएमसी चुनावी नतीजों के बाद रिसोर्ट पॉलिटिक्स की वापसी की खबर सामने आ रही है। सूत्रों की तरफ से जो दावे किए जा रहे हैं, जो बातें कही जा रही हैं, अगर उनमें सच्चाई है तो एक बड़ी गहमा गहमी की तस्वीर नजर आएगी। लेकिन इन सब के बीच निश्चित तौर पर अगर हम एक जुमले का जिक्र करें खुल्ला खेल फर्रुखाबादी, तो वो लगता है कि शुरू हो गया है। तोड़फोड़ का डर भी है और तोड़फोड़ से रोकने की कोशिश भी, और यही वजह है कि महाराष्ट्र की सियासत वक्त के साथ दिलचस्प मोड़ लेती हुई नजर आ रही है। ये तस्वीरें हम आपको दिखा रहे हैं मुंबई के ताज होटल की, और यहीं पर कहा जा रहा है कि तमाम नगर सेवकों को जो जीते हुए हैं उन्हें लेकर एकनाथ शिंदे की पार्टी जो है यहां पर आ सकती है।
The move to shift corporators comes amid intense speculation regarding poaching and the upcoming battle for the mayor's post. Shiv Sena UBT chief Uddhav Thackeray has taken a sharp jibe at Fadnavis for moving 29 newly elected corporators to a hotel. The move to shift corporators comes amid intense speculation regarding poaching and the upcoming battle for the mayor's post. Thackeray warned that if his netas split once, they can do so once again as well, indicating that the Shinde faction remains vulnerable to internal divisions. However, Maharashtra CM Fadnavis struck back, saying that decision regarding the mayor will be taken collectively. Though the discussions in the mayor post cannot take place for any of the 29 municipalities until there is clarity and reservations for each municipality's mayor post. The move by Shinde is also seen as being strategy to up his bargaining power with the BJP. The final decision on the mayoral formula remains with the BJP High Command as discussions continue between the alliance partners in Maharashtra.
So we have another big breaking news coming in. UP ATS cracks down on Changur Baba controversial conversion racket, I beg your pardon. Fund manager arrested from Nagpur, the anti-terrorist squad which is investigating the conversion racket in Uttar Pradesh. He was arrested. Changur Baba's close associate Idul Islam from Nagpur early Saturday. The operation was carried out by a joint team of Maharashtra and Uttar Pradesh anti-terrorism squads, along with local police. Now, ADHU played a key role in managing the funds and logistics for the Islam conversion network. It's a big breaking news coming in at this point in time, ladies and gentlemen. It's a big breaking news. UP ATS arrests Baba's close aide, Aidul Islam. UP ATS cracks down on conversion racket. Now let's move into another story. Prime Minister Narendra Modi on a 2-day visit to Assam was seen taking part in major cultural and development-focused engagements across the state. The visit began in Guwahati with a massive showcase of Assam's indigenous heritage, drawing participation from artists across districts and constituencies and highlighting the centre's focus on culture-led outreach. Here is a quick preview.
असम में उनका सतत आगमन उनके प्रेम और बर'फोरनि सोदोमस्रिनि ने मन से बिथा मोनसे दोरोङारि मोसानाया
PM Modi witnessed the largest cultural performance ever held in Assam, as more than 10,000 artists across 23 districts performed the traditional Bodo Bagurumba dance. The cultural spectacle marked a high point of the PM Assam visit, underlining the government's emphasis on celebrating regional identities and strengthening the cultural pride.
Now, moving on to another news, in an unusually conciliatory note amid rising regional tensions, US President Donald Trump on Friday thanked Iran's leadership after saying Tehran had called off the executions of hundreds of protesters detained during a brutal nationwide crackdown. In a post on his Truth Social platform, Trump said that Iranian authorities had cancelled what he described as more than 800 scheduled hangings that were set to take place a day earlier. Now watch this report for more.
see. As you know, Iran canceled the hanging of over 800 people. They were going to hang over 800 people yesterday, and I greatly respect the fact that they canceled that.
We've been told that the killing in Iran is stopping, and it's stopped, and it's stopping. And there's no plan for executions or executions. So I've been told that on good authority. We'll find out about it.
On 15 January 2026, a 26-year-old Iranian protester, Irfan Soltani, was arrested by Iranian officials. Soon afterward, the Iranian judiciary allegedly issued an execution order against him. His family was allowed to meet him for 10 minutes. After that, due to a nationwide communications blackout, Soltani's real-time situation became unknown.
About this all day because nothing happened, so here goes, okay?
However, Tehran's Friday prayer leader has called for execution of detained protesters. Meanwhile, the U.S. has already warned of grave consequences if any executions take place in Tehran.
The president and his team have communicated to the Iranian regime that if the killing continues, there will be grave consequences. And the president received a message, as he revealed to all of you and the whole world yesterday, that the killing and the executions will stop. And the president understands today that 800 executions that were scheduled and supposed to take place yesterday were halted. And so the president and his team are closely monitoring this situation, and all options remain on the table for the president.
The United States regime and its accomplices, particularly the Israeli regime, cannot evade responsibility for the innocent blood that has been shed in my country. Unable to achieve their objectives through the 12-day war of aggression against Iran in June 2025, they have now seek to pursue the same goals through political destabilization, internal unrest, and chaos. This strategy relies on manufacturing casualties, spreading false and inflated figures, and creating a pretext for foreign intervention. It is a familiar script, one that has been used repeatedly from Iraq to Libya and to Venezuela.
Powered by Century Ply Club Prime. Raho befikar.
MDH की देगी मीरज,
देगी मिर्च का तड़का, अंग अंग फड़का।
MDH की देगी मीरज।
केसरिया से मन जोगी हुआ रे, दिल झूमे देखो मतवारा हुआ रे। केसरिया से मन जोगी हुआ।
हर पल मनाओ केसरी त्योहार। विमल, बोलो जुबान केसरी।
थोड़े में ज्यादा स्वाद, यही तो है इसकी खास बात। वाओ मामा, क्या स्वाद है? अरे मेरे राजा, राजा मसाला।
ये है सीक्रेट रेसिपी, MDH का जीरा सिप जल जीरा मसाला।
सिप सिप जीरा सिप MDH का जल जीरा सिप MDH का जल जीरा सिप।
आज की भारतीय सेना न केवल वर्तमान चुनौतियों का सफलतापूर्वक सामना कर रही, बल्कि हम नित्य प्रतिदिन एक परिवर्तनशील, आधुनिक और भविष्य उन्मुख शक्ति के रूप में तेजी से अग्रसर हो रहे हैं। इसके अंतर्गत रुद्र के रूप में नई ऑल आर्म्स ब्रिगेड का गठन किया जा रहा है, जिसका सैंक्शन मैंने कल ही दिया है, जिसमें इन्फेंट्री, मैकेनाइज्ड इन्फेंट्री, आर्मर्ड यूनिट्स, आर्टिलरी, स्पेशल फोर्सेज, अनमैन्ड एरियल सिस्टम जैसे फाइटिंग कंपोनेंट्स को एक साथ रखा जाएगा और विशेष रूप से तैयार किया जाएगा, जिसमें शामिल लॉजिस्टिक सपोर्ट और कॉम्बैट सपोर्ट होंगे। इसी क्रम में भैरव लाइट कमांडो बटालियन के रूप में एजाइल और घातक स्पेशल फोर्सेस का गठन किया गया है, जो सीमाओं पर शत्रु को चौंकाने के लिए हमेशा तैयार है।
These are the men of the Bhairav Battalion. India's new multi-domain formation. Trained to fight across terrains, domains and timelines. Raised at speed. Built by pooling infantry, artillery, signals and air defense expertise, Bhairav is being shaped as a self-sufficient force, able to see first, move first and hit hard. Over 2 days, Republic tracked Bhairav through night maneuvers and daytime battle drills to understand how the Indian Army is turning the idea of multi-domain warfare into ground reality.
This is the new tactical team that the Indian Army has deployed for multi-domain operations, for cross-border terrorist camps to internal security and neutralizing targets. They do it all. This new light brigade of specially trained come from multiple domains of the army, from artillery, infantry, signal, and most importantly, they are trained in a way to conduct multi-domain warfare. The Bhairav Battalion has been created for one purpose: lethality and impact. The Bhairav Battalion will be deployed across the nation, and there are more than 200 of these already in operations. Conceptualized less than a year ago, this is the epitome of warfare that we face today. In an ever-changing world, in an ever-changing lessons learned from global conflicts.
The first phase unfolds at night. Movement control, buddy movement, sniper infiltration, and drone-based overwatch. Each drill is a building block in a larger picture. A unit that can see first, decide faster, and move with precision under cover of darkness. This is a unit designed for multi-domain warfare, where the fight happens simultaneously on the ground, in the air, across electromagnetic networks and inside real-time intelligence loops. Built by combining personnel from infantry, artillery, signals, and army air defense, Bhairav is being shaped as a self-sufficient formation that can operate independently, strike with speed, and adapt to modern battlefield demands.
We are here in the heart of Jaipur's training grounds, where the Bhairav Battalion has been training incessantly. We saw their deadly precision and we saw their intense speed. This battalion has been created as a new age light commando unit, equipped with drones, equipped with the latest weapons, and equipped with technology heavy multi-domain warfare. They are designed in a way that is designed for speed, precision, and deadly accuracy. Equipped from all across the army, where artillery and air defense, infantry, signals come together to form this new age light infantry unit. Equipped with almost 250 soldiers, they have been developed with lightning speed. In less than a year, they have been operationalized and conceptualized, and now we are seeing them do their deadly precision strikes.
Buddy movement may look basic, but in combat it is survival. One soldier moves only when another is watching over him. Every bound is calculated. Every pause has a purpose. The sniper element works in parallel, moving slower, thinking longer. Their role is not just to fire, but to watch, to hold overwatch on routes, choke points, and potential ambush sites. Above them, drones add another layer. The Trinetra platform turns a limited line of sight into a wider picture, checking routes, scanning for thermal signatures, and cueing the patrol to danger they cannot see at eye level. And dependence on live information. It is here that multi-domain warfare stops being a slogan and becomes a pattern of movement, communication, and trust.
We are here at the firing range where the Bharat Battalion will be doing its drills. These drills show the deadly accuracy of the Bharat Battalion. We will be seeing the AK-203 in action, the deadly precision of this battalion, and most importantly, the important firing drills that are taking place. The AK-203 with ambidextrous shooting positions, wherein they will be changing hands and interchanging. Bharat Battalion is the compact light commando unit of the Indian Army created to fight hybrid multi-domain warfare in a high-speed technology-heavy operation, especially along the LOC and LSC. Each battalion has roughly 250 soldiers. It integrates drones, electronic warfare and precision weapons, and sits between the paramilitary and SF. All of this being done in a way that has never been seen before in the Indian Army. This designed for high-speed offensive operations, cross-border raids, deep reconnaissance and disruption missions for tactical and operational depth, including grey zone and escalation control scenarios. Trained for hybrid warfare, conventional ISR and a multitude of other operations, the Bharat Battalion is the newest addition in the Indian Army.
Fire and move is the heart of offensive infantry tactics. One element fixes the enemy with accurate fire, while another element shifts position to gain advantage or close in. This is Bhairav's night signature: stealth, control. For Bhairav, the drill is repeated until it becomes reflex. Distances, timing, arcs of fire, everything is measured. The aim is to advance without losing control, even when rounds are meant to be flying back.
Sir, could you help me understand why the Bharat Battalion has been conceptually created and what specific roles does it play in the Indian Army?
Bharat Battalion has been raised as a multi-domain specialized battalion. And this battalion can operate in any terrain, in any kind of operation situation, which is across the border or inside the country. So this is what the concept of creating this battalion, and this is what the aim of this battalion.
Sir, could you help me understand how is the Bharat Battalion different from the infantry and para-SF forces that were already present in the Indian Army?
Let me tell you, our all forces, let it be infantry, SF, we all are trained. And so the Bharat Battalion. So it is only the weapon system and the training methodology which make us little bit different from the others. Like we are specialized in multi-domain operation. So that is what the difference between us and the other forces.
Sir, the Bharat Battalion has been conceptualized in a very short time and has been operationalized in a very short time. This lightning speed, does it also reflect in the operations of the Bharat Battalion?
No doubt, the main aim of this Bharat Battalion is to operate swiftly with no time frame. That is quickest time frame. And the three principles that we have envisaged for our Bharat Battalion, that is stealth, intelligence and discipline. And same time, we work on the another three principles: surprise, speed and shock action.
And what type of training different from other battalions does Bharat Battalion get?
So we are under this training of around 6 months something, and we are heavily training, and we are now we have been given latest weapons and new technologies, and we are working on it. We are constantly improving upon it, and I am very sure with all this modern equipment and technology, our precision has increased, and we will be definitely going to succeed in any kind of tasks we will be allotted to us.
So the Bharat Battalion is a very tech-heavy battalion, wherein we are seeing drones, multiple types of radio sets and everything being incorporated. How has this technology affected the effectiveness of the Bharat Battalion?
See, the idea of Bhairav is of a small team, and that small team is of self-contained. We are capable enough that any kind of problem comes, we will be able to solve it with our own weapon and our own equipments only. So we don't need to go to any other arms and ask for anything. We are well equipped, and this leads us to more precise operation, and definitely this is going to help us in all kind of.
And discipline decide the first moves of any operation. From song and war cry to silent patrols and live fire drills, this battalion is being molded for a battlefield where information, speed and coordination are as important as courage under fire. A formation designed to operate independently across domains and in the shortest possible time frames. Bhairav is still in training, but its message is already clear.
है तू भैरव महाकाल है, हाथ में त्रिशूल धरे तांडव विकराल है, काल का कोलाहल तेरे डमरू की ताल है, धर्म की रक्षा करे देश की तू ढाल है, हाथ है विशाल है तू भैरव महाकाल है, हाथ में त्रिशूल धरे तांडव विकराल है, काल का कोलाहल तेरे डमरू की ताल है, धर्म की रक्षा करे देश की तू ढाल है।
The world stands on the threshold of a new era. An era where battlefields know no borders. And victory belongs not merely to the powerful, but to the prepared.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, stand by!
Across land, sky, sea, and cyberspace. A new force is emerging. Rooted in tradition and future ready. From the Himalayas to the Thar, every step of the Indian Army shapes the destiny of rising India. Founded in honor, driven by innovation, committed to Viksit Bharat 2047. Indian Army. Strength through self-reliance. Under the guidance of the Supreme Commander, the Indian Army is emerging as a modern and self-reliant force. A force where knowledge, data, drones and cutting-edge technology moves in lockstep with every soldier. Once reliant on imports, India today stands as a manufacturer and exporter of cutting-edge defense systems. Across the Thar, Arunachal and Ladakh, every weapon system bears the mark of indigenous strength. The precision of BrahMos, the unwavering shield of Akash, and destruction of the enemy's designs by Akash Tir. Together, they echo the voice of a new, self-reliant India. When terror crossed the line of control,
आतंकियों ने हमारी बहनों का सिंदूर उजाड़ा था, इसलिए भारत ने आतंक के ये हेडक्वार्टर्स उजाड़ दिए.
India responded, not with anger, but with resolve and precision. Operation Sindoor was a declaration. India delivered justice, not vengeance. Indigenous drones mapped the terrain. Loitering munitions tracked hostile hideouts. And when the moment came, the strike was swift, unseen and decisive.
भारत आतंकवाद के खिलाफ जब भी कोई कार्रवाई करेगा तो आतंकवादियों और उनके आकाओं के लिए सरहद पार की जमीन भी सुरक्षित नहीं रहेगी.
Every war, every mission, every exercise is a testament to India's integrated might. Land, air and ocean. Three frontiers moving as one. This is India's united strength.
As we step deeper into the decade of transformation, the Indian Army is undergoing structural and doctrinal reforms, guided by the principles of jointness, Atmanirbharta and innovation.
Today, battlefields extend far beyond terrain into networks, satellites and cyberspace. In command centers that never sleep, data becomes the new battleground and information the mightiest weapon. Cyber warriors neutralize threats before they reach our borders. Quantum labs and AI cells predict enemy intent. This is India's vigilant, technological and decisive army. From frontiers to leadership, women now stand shoulder to shoulder at every level. They lead with clarity, courage, and unshakable conviction. Beyond borders and battlefields, the Indian Army stands as the nation's first responder. In floods, earthquakes, and other natural disasters, soldiers become protectors, not just for the nation, but for humanity. The Army not only safeguards lives, it builds futures. Through Army Goodwill Schools and Vibrant Villages program, Every soldier embodies trust, and the army, a bridge that turns dream into reality. From the highest solar grades to the protection of fragile ecosystems, the army leads the march of sustainable development. The roads built by the Indian Army become the pathways of connection and corridors of prosperity. On the field, from Mission Olympics to Paralympics, soldiers transform discipline into medals. Across UN missions, their blue helmets shine as beacons of India's honor. Committed to the ideals of the United Nations, India's experience and leadership play a key role in shaping global peace.
I really thank India for bringing together what I call the family of peacekeeping.
Through joint exercises and global partnerships, the Indian Army builds a foundation of trust across the world. And with every greeting extended by the Army Chief, India's message resonates clearly. In preparedness lies peace, and in friendship lies strength. India's strength is not aggression, it is assurance. Not conquest, but confidence. In war or in peace, India stands firm. The guardian of stability, the fortress of strength, and the torchbearer of self-reliant power. This is the Indian Army. Modern, unstoppable, building the nation. And forever, the guardians of India's future. Indian Army. Strength through self-reliance.
Powered by Century Ply Club Prime. Raho befikar.
आर प्योर सूजी पास्ता उबालो मिलाओ और खाओ
8 मिनट में तैयार
क्या टेस्ट है सबका राजा आर प्योर मसाला.
At Amity University's 2-week summer school, students of classes 9 to 12 get to explore future undergraduate programs as per their interest from over 30 disciplines. Students attend lectures by Amity University faculty, gain experience at over 400 labs and learning studios, and attend personality enhancement workshops. Register now at amity.edu/summer school.
आधे बाउल दही में 4 चम्मच MDH चटनी पुदीना मसाला डाला, स्टर करो, पुदीना चटनी तैयार. MDH चटनी पुदीना मसाला.
इसको घर पे लगाओगे तो शादी का तो पता नहीं, पर घर पक्का नहीं टूटेगा.
रूंगटा नहीं तो घर स्ट्रॉन्ग नहीं. रूंगटा स्टील TMT बार एकदम सॉलिड.
पहाड़ों में एक हाइकिंग स्टिक भी बन सकती है.
आर प्योर शाही पनीर मसाला. डिलीशियस, हेल्दी, एवरीडे.
Iran is boiling. Iranians are protesting against the Khamenei regime. U.S. President Donald Trump has urged Iranians to keep protesting and take over institutions, and has assured them that help is on the way.
Well, no, they're starting to, it looks like, and there seem to be some people killed that aren't supposed to be killed. These are violent, if you call them leaders, I don't know if they're leaders or just they rule through violence. But we're looking at it very seriously. The military is looking at it, and we're looking at some very strong options. We'll make a determination. Well, if they do that, we'll consider things targets that they wouldn't believe. If they do that, we will hit them at levels that they've never been hit before. They won't even believe it. I have options that are so strong. So, I mean, if they did that, it'll be met with a very, very powerful force. So Iran's in big trouble. It looks to me that the people are taking over certain cities that nobody thought were really possible just a few weeks ago. We're watching the situation very carefully. I've made the statement very strongly.
This week on Get Me Right is Somanath Swabhiman Parv, marking 1,000 years of the attack by Mahmud of Ghazni, the culmination of a battle of narratives that started with the coming to power of Narendra Modi as Prime Minister in 2014. Also this week, India reached the world with Responsible Nations Index, RNI, our very own rating system that will judge nations based on Indian yardsticks and not that of Moody's and Fitch. And has Donald Trump got it all wrong with tariffs as India's exports to the United States continue to rise and China records its highest trade surplus in history over US $1.2 trillion. This weekend, Saturday and Sunday, only on Republic TV.
Powered by Century Ply Club Prime. Raho befikar.
थोड़े में ज्यादा स्वाद ये तो है इसकी खास बात। वाओ मामा क्या स्वाद है? अरे मेरे राजा सबका राजा और प्योर मसाला केसरिया से मन जोगी हुआ रे दिल झूमे देखो मतवारा हुआ रे केसरिया से मन जोगी
हर पल मनाओ केसरी त्योहार। विमल बोलो जुबान केसरी।
अब छोलिया हो या लोबिया, सफेद चने या काले चने,
सब कुछ मजेदार बने।
आर प्योर सूजी पास्ता उबालो मिलाओ और खाओ 8 मिनट में तैयार। क्या टेस्ट है सबका राजा आर प्योर मसाला।
Iran is boiling. Iranians are protesting against the Khamenei regime. U.S. President Donald Trump has urged Iranians to keep protesting and take over institutions, and has assured them that help is on the way.
Well, no, they're starting to, it looks like, and there seem to be some people killed that aren't supposed to be killed. These are violent, if you call them leaders, I don't know if they're leaders or just they rule through violence. But we're looking at it very seriously. The military is looking at it, and we're looking at some very strong options. We'll make a determination. Well, if they do that, we'll consider things targets that they wouldn't believe. If they do that, we will hit them at levels that they've never been hit before. They won't even believe it. I have options that are so strong. So, I mean, if they did that, it'll be met with a very, very powerful force. So Iran's in big trouble. It looks to me that the people are taking over certain cities that nobody thought were really possible just a few weeks ago. We're watching the situation very carefully. I've made the statement very strongly.
From Asia's largest news headquarters, setting the agenda for Bharat. You're watching Republic.
Good
morning, viewers. Ladies and gentlemen, get ready for another edition of India's definitive platform on the future of artificial intelligence. Republic Media Network proudly presents the Republic AI Summit and Awards 2026, a powerful convergence of technology leaders, innovators and visionaries shaping India's AI journey. Centered on the theme of cracking India's AI code, this summit will spotlight bold ideas, responsible innovation and breakthrough leadership driving India's AI ambitions. The day culminates with the Republic AI Awards 2026, honoring excellence and impact across the AI ecosystem. So catch us live on 19th of January 2026 as India's AI future takes center stage only on Republic TV. And viewers, now let's take a look at the headlines at the top of 10. Donald Trump imposes a 10% additional tariff on 8 NATO nations sending troops to Greenland for a surveillance mission starting 1st of February. West Bengal LOP Suvendu Adhikari writes to the governor demanding deployment of central paramilitary forces in violence-hit Murshidabad. India seeks early consular access for 16 Indian crew detained by Iran. Eknath Shinde moves Sena corporators to a hotel amid fears of poaching and battle for BMC's mayoral post. And Prime Minister Modi to lay foundation stone for Kaziranga Elevated Corridor project worth over 6,950 crore rupees in Assam's Kaliabor. And women's doubles semi-final match at India Open between the doubles pair comes to a halt because of pigeon poop incident at the Indira Gandhi Stadium. From Karnataka first, Congress leader Rajiv Gaura there is facing a backlash after allegedly abusing and threatening Shidlaghata Municipal Commissioner Amrutha Gaura after the removal of promotional banners for a film starring the son of a housing minister BZ Zamir Ahmad Khan. Well, the incident has sparked outrage with the opposition parties BJP and the JDS demanding strict action against Gaura. And in an audio clip, Gaura is heard using swear words and threatening to set fire to the municipal office and incite riots if the banners aren't returned. The commissioner has filed now a police complaint and Gaura has been booked under various sections of the Bharatiya Nyaya Samhita. The Congress party meanwhile has issued a show cause notice to Gaura and there's a growing pressure for his expulsion. The incident has also drawn criticism from women's organizations and the National Commission for Women. All right, viewers, more breaking news related to this too big story from Karnataka. So, BJP and JDS are demanding the expulsion of Karnataka Congress leader Rajiv Gaura. And this after an audio clip went viral where he's threatening to set the municipal office on fire. The Congress leader Rajiv Gaura has now been booked under various sections of the Bharatiya Nyaya Samhita. However, there are increased demands for his expulsion from the Congress party. So that is the big story that is coming in from Karnataka. 2 FIRs have been filed against Karnataka Congress leader Rajiv Gaura in Shidlaghata for his threats and abuse. Sri Lakshmi, my colleague, is now joining us for more details on this story. Sri Lakshmi, there is an audio clip that has gone viral wherein we can hear him speak and abuse and threaten. Now we understand the 2 FIRs have been filed against him, but there are political parties, the opposition parties, that are demanding Rajiv Gaura's expulsion. What more details can you provide us?
Well, Shwangi, the incident reportedly has taken place on Tuesday. It's been 4 days that the incident has happened. Yet, 2 FIRs have been filed against Rajiv Gowda. Still, Rajiv Gowda was not been arrested by the police. The big question at this point of time is who is protecting Congress leader Rajiv Gowda? Because, as you rightly pointed out, National Women's Commission has, referred to take action against him. State Women's Commission has written a letter to Shidlaghatta SP to take action against him. Now, Karnataka Home Minister Dr. G. Parmeshwar is saying that yes, he has committed a mistake, but police are after him. But the arrest has not yet happened yet. On part of government, it shows the sheer irresponsibility and disrespect towards women officers who are there in Karnataka. The incident has happened on Tuesday evening when an event was held to promote a Kannada film Cult starring Zaid Khan, son of Housing Minister Zamir Ahmad Khan. And flexes of these films were put on all over the Shidlaghatta city without taking proper permissions from the municipal corporation. And for that reason, Municipal Commissioner Amrita Gowda had vacated all those flexes. This was the issue. And this Rajiv Gowda spoke to her and abused her, used obscene language against her and threatened her. And he has also spoke, using obscene language, and life threat was given to her by this Rajiv Gowda. Yet no arrest of Rajiv Gowda. The big question Republic Kannada is asking now is why Rajiv Gowda has not been arrested yet. Police, Shidlaghatta police have come to Sanjay Nagar residence of Rajiv Gowda, but he was not there. Police and Home Minister are saying that he has absconded. There's a doubt against Food Minister Muniappa that he's protecting this Rajiv Gowda, but why Karnataka police are not arresting him yet is a big question at this point of time. Is there any protection to female officers in the state or not is the big question, Shivangi.
Right. Sri Lakshmi, stay with us. We'll just come back to you because we have more breaking news coming in related to this incident. And we understand, of course, now the 2 FIRs have been filed against him. But Rajiv Gowda has gone absolutely absconding. He's gone missing. And this after FIRs were filed against him in Shidlaghatta for threats and abuse. Now there are political parties, the opposition parties, demanding his expulsion from the Congress party. The Congress party has, of course, issued a show cause notice, but the opposition is demanding that he be expelled from the party. Meanwhile, as the FIRs have been filed, he has gone missing. He has absconded. Nobody knows where he is. Let's go back to Sri Lakshmi. Sri Lakshmi, now, that is a big question that, the opposition parties is also asking, that despite those FIRs being filed against him, why the police has not been able to arrest him. And at the same time, he has gone absconding. He has gone missing.
Yes. Even Congress party leaders, some of them have written a letter to DCM DK Shivkumar claiming that this Rajiv Gowda needs to be expelled out of the party because the language which he has used against this officer is not totally undefendable. The complaints against him also claims that the caller used obscene and abusive words against local MLA B.N. Ravikumar as well, and made remarks indirectly targeting district in charge minister MC Sudhakar as well. So many things have been written in the complaint, and KPCC, he was also identified as KPCC state coordinator, and he is defeated Congress candidate from Shidlaghatta Assembly constituency for 2023 elections. Now the big question is, it's been 4 days after the incident. Still, no action against him by the Congress party. Why is that so? And who is protecting Rajiv Gowda, even after these many allegations against him? Back to studio.
Right. And Sri Lakshmi, I would also like to understand from you that while he was threatening and abusing this woman officer, the big question is that what exactly was his problem? What is his allegations are?
He wanted to promote Zaid Khan, Minister Zamir Ahmad Khan's son Zaid Khan's film Cult. For that promotion event, from his side, he had put so many flexes all over the city and without taking any permission from the municipal corporation. And municipal corporation commissioner Amrita Gowda had vacated all those flexes for not being taken proper permissions from the municipal corporation. That itself is the issue, and just for that reason, he called up Amrita Gowda and used abusive languages, gave life threat to her, and abused many leaders, many local leaders over there.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Sri Lakshmi, for getting us all those updates there. All right, viewers, we have more breaking news coming in. Let's move on to the next breaking news, and this is related to the Indian Open that has been marred by controversy. Indian Open has been marred by controversy with the latest incident involving pigeon droppings halting the women's doubles semi-final match between Dan Ning and Liu Shengshu and Korea's Baek Ha-na and Lee So-hee at Indira Gandhi Stadium. Now, this is not an isolated incident, as earlier HS Pranoy's pre-quarter-final match was also disrupted twice due to bird droppings. The stadium's poor conditions, including garbage, pan stains, cigarette butts, monkeys, stray dogs, have sparked outrage, with players like Mia Blichfeld criticizing the unacceptable and highly unprofessional environment. The Badminton World Federation has also acknowledged the issue and stated that the Indira Gandhi Sports Complex is an upgrade from the previous venue, but it still requires attention to cleanliness, hygiene, animal control. The sports minister's silence on the matter has added to the controversy, with the politicians like Abhishek Manu Singhvi as well as Priyanka Chaturvedi calling for better infrastructure and governance. So India Open yet again marred by a controversy, and this is the latest incident that has involved pigeon droppings, which has halted the women's doubles semi-final match. Ishan, my colleague, is now joining us live from the national capital for more details. Ishan, India Open continuously being marred into controversy, one issue or the other. Sometimes it is the monkeys, then it is the cleanliness issue. And now these bird droppings are halting the match in the women's semi-final. What are the authorities saying?
The authorities have not yet issued an official statement. We have been constantly reaching out to them for the same. We are seeing that this incident has definitely marred the image of India's national and international matches that are being held over here. We can clearly see that the incident is not an isolated incident, but a series of incidents. Earlier also we saw that the men's doubles matches had to be stopped, and the Danish player had complained to the Indian authorities, stating that it is an irreprehensible situation where he was forced to stop the match twice due to pigeon droppings on the court, and that caused a situation where the match was rendered unplayable. After that, we also saw incidents where monkeys were seen in the stands roaming around freely. And now this recent incident where an entire bird's nest fell onto the court during a match, and the referee had to stop the match to ensure that the court is cleaned before the match can proceed further. The Chinese world #1 duo that was playing against the Korean team during this match had to stop the match, and during the match it was a 6-2 match before and after that. So somehow these incidents have not only been affecting the morale of the players, but also affecting the image of India as a nation to host these world level events. So the authorities need to completely wake up and take responsibility and ensure that no such incidents happens in the future. Back to you.
Right, Anishan, as far as the Indian Badminton, Association is concerned, there have been several officials who have been saying that, this is something that is, not really, you cannot have control over these issues, especially the issue of, bird droppings are the concern. Now, some of the officials are saying it was not a bird poop, but, some nest droppings that, interrupted the match. And sometimes it is not really easy to control those situations. But there are other issues, that really need the authorities to answer, especially the issues of, cleanliness and hygiene.
Absolutely. The Indira Gandhi International Stadium was renovated recently and is supposed to be a world-class stadium. However, we have seen several issues here. The toilets over here are absolutely unusable. The surrounding areas have not been cleaned properly, and we can see multiple places where garbage has piled up, and monkeys, dogs and other vermin such as rats have been moving around the stadium, and we have seen several instances of that as well. So this entire situation comes back to the point that the authorities cannot pass the blame that these situations are not controllable, because stadiums like this have been maintained across the world and cannot be ensured to say that it is a simple issue and it needs to be resolved by the authorities. Back to you.
All right. Thank you so much, Ishan, for getting us those updates there on that big story. So questions continue on the India Open's ability to really host an international international tournament like that, with several players, not only from the world over, but also Indian players as well, questioning a lot of infrastructure issues within at the Indira Gandhi Stadium there. All right, viewers, let's move on to the bulletin now. Big story from West Bengal. A massive protest in the state's Beldaga has, and that over the alleged killing of a migrant worker has rapidly spiraled into violence, paralyzing rail and road networks. So what began as a local agitation has now triggered serious security concerns, with the strategic routes blocked as well as police action as delayed. Questions are being raised as to the state's mobocracy. This unrest unfolds at a sensitive time, raising alarms about its wider impact on national security and connectivity to the northeast. Take a look at our report.
Unrest grips West Bengal's Murshidabad district. This is as protests erupt in Murshidabad over the alleged murder of migrant worker Alauddin Sheikh from Jharkhand. Hundreds of locals gathered on a highway at Barua Mor in Bildanga, bringing traffic on NH12 to a standstill and triggering long queues of stranded vehicles. And the NH12 is a key highway, a major route that connects to Chicken's Neck of the Siliguri corridor. Sheikh's family, accompanied by locals as part of the protests, have also damaged the Seldar railway division track at Bildanga, set tires ablaze and have even taken to sleeping on tracks in attempts to disrupt the train services. Visuals also arose of stones being pelted by the mob of protesters.
দেশের ভবিষ্যৎ এরা বুঝতে পারছো, দেখছো ট্রেন ওরা কিরম অবরোধ করতে হয়, ওরা জানে। এই ছোট ছোট ছেলেবেলাই বস্তা বস্তা করে পাশে লেগে রেল লাইন কিরম আটকে রেখে দিয়েছে। এই যে এই ভাইটা পরশুদিনকে মেরে গলায় দড়ি দিয়ে এই যে রাস্তায় ফেলে রেখে গেছে। বুঝতে পারলে তোমরা বেশি বেশি করে শেয়ার করো, সবাই বেড়ে নেওয়া চলেছে রাস্তা অবরোধ করার জন্য। দেশের ভবিষ্যৎ এরা বুঝতে পারছো, দেখছো ট্রেন ওরা কিরম অবরোধ করতে হয়, ওরা জানে। এই ছোট ছোট ছেলেবেলাই বস্তা বস্তা করে পাশে লেগে রেল লাইন কিরম আটকে রেখে দিয়েছে। এই যে এই ভাইটা পরশুদিনকে মেরে গলায় দড়ি দিয়ে এই যে রাস্তায় ফেলে রেখে গেছে। বুঝতে পারলে তোমরা বেশি বেশি করে শেয়ার করো, সবাই বেড়ে নেওয়া চলেছে রাস্তা অবরোধ করার জন্য। দেশের ভবিষ্যৎ এরা বুঝতে পারছো, দেখছো ট্রেন ওরা কিরম অবরোধ করতে হয়, ওরা জানে। এই ছোট ছোট ছেলেবেলাই বস্তা বস্তা করে পাশে লেগে রেল লাইন কিরম আটকে রেখে দিয়েছে। এই যে এই ভাইটা পরশুদিনকে মেরেছে, মেরে গলায় দড়ি দিয়ে এই যে রাস্তায় ফেলে রেখে গেছে। বুঝতে পারলে? তোমরা বেশি বেশি করে শেয়ার করো, সবাই বেরিয়ে চলে এসো রাস্তা অবরোধ করার জন্য।
It took about 48 hours for the police to have finally taken action in response to the protests. Locals reported that the police bait and charged the agitators at a few places to disperse the crowd as they commenced their crackdown on the Beldanga protesters. All of this amidst the Prime Minister's visit to the state. Allegations arise from the BJP as to this unrest and mobocracy being an attempt of CM Mamata Banerjee to turn Bengal into Bangladesh. All eyes remain on West Bengal as to how it navigates the aftermath of the migrant killing, consequent protests and unrest, and the delayed action from state and security authorities.
All right, big story from Maharashtra. A political power struggle is brewing within the ruling Mahayuti alliance after its sweeping victory in the Brihan-Mumbai Municipal Corporation elections. Even as the BJP Shiv Sena alliance celebrated its mandate, cracks have begun to surface over the coveted post of Mumbai mayor. As per sources, now according to sources, Eknath Shinde-led Shiv Sena has taken claim to the mayor's post and proposing a split-term formula and demanding the position for the first 2.5 years of the 5-year term. For now, Shinde's show of strength is being seen as a tactical move to increase bargaining power with the BJP, even as the final call is expected to rest with the BJP High Command. More in this report.
After a sweeping victory for the BJP Sena's Mahayuti in the BMC polls in Maharashtra, Mumbai is witnessing power play and hotel politics as Shiv Sena has moved all its newly elected corporators in a hotel in Bandra. The real power tussle has begun, with Shinde Sena demanding the mayor post in India's richest municipal corporation as per sources. As per a report, tensions have emerged within the BJP Shiv Sena alliance. The Eknath Shinde-led Shiv Sena has proposed a split-term formula demanding the Mumbai mayor's position for at least the first 2.5 years of the 5-year term. Shinde sees this as a befitting tribute to Shiv Sena's founder Bal Thackeray on his 100th birthday on January 23rd. While the BJP has emerged as the single largest party with 89 seats, the Shinde faction with 29 seats is positioning itself as a kingmaker.
शिवसेना सिंधे गुट के नगर सेवकों और नेताओं ने यह भी इच्छा जताई है कि मुंबई में 2.5 साल के लिए महापौर का पद दिया जाए, यानी 2.5 साल के लिए बीजेपी से महापौर हो और 2.5 साल के लिए यहां पर एकनाथ शिंदे वाली शिवसेना के महापौर हो। एक मसला ये है सूत्रों के हवाले से। दूसरा मसला ये भी है सूत्रों के हवाले से कि मुंबई में अगर बीजेपी के महापौर बनाए जाते हैं और उप महापौर शिवसेना सिंधे गुट के होंगे, तो दूसरी तरफ ठाणे में शिवसेना शिंदे गुट के महापौर हो जाए और बीजेपी के उप महापौर हो जाए। अब इन दोनों मसलों को लेकर रिसोर्ट पॉलिटिक्स की बात सामने आ रही है, खींचतान का माहौल है। अब एक बार आपको 2019 याद होगा, महाराष्ट्र की सियासत में एक बड़ा टर्निंग पॉइंट, उसके बाद 2022 जून और जुलाई का महीना आपको याद होगा कि किस तरीके से एकनाथ शिंदे गुवाहाटी चले गए थे और रिसोर्ट पॉलिटिक्स की एक तस्वीर सामने आई थी। लेकिन एक बार फिर बीएमसी चुनावी नतीजों के बाद रिसोर्ट पॉलिटिक्स की वापसी की खबर सामने आ रही है। सूत्र की तरफ से जो दावे किए जा रहे हैं, जो बातें कही जा रही हैं, अगर उनमें सच्चाई है तो एक बड़ी गहमा गहमी की तस्वीर नजर आएगी। लेकिन इन सब के बीच निश्चित तौर पर अगर हम एक जुमले का जिक्र करें खुल्ला खेल फर्रुखाबादी, तो वो लगता है कि शुरू हो गया है। तोड़फोड़ का डर भी है और तोड़फोड़ से रोकने की कोशिश भी। और यही वजह है कि महाराष्ट्र की सियासत वक्त के साथ दिलचस्प मोड़ लेती हुई नजर आ रही है। ये तस्वीरें हम आपको दिखा रहे हैं मुंबई के ताज होटल की, और यहीं पर कहा जा रहा है कि तमाम नगर सेवकों को जो जीते हुए हैं उन्हें लेकर एकनाथ शिंदे की पार्टी जो है यहां पर आ सकती है।
This week on Get Me Right is Somnath Swabhiman Parv, marking 1000 years of the attack by Mahmud of Ghazni, the culmination of a battle of narratives that started with the coming to power of Narendra Modi as Prime Minister in 2014. Also this week, India reached the world with Responsible Nations Index, RNI, our very own rating system that will judge nations based on Indian yardsticks and not that of Moody's and Fitch. And has Donald Trump got it all wrong with tariffs as India's exports to the United States continue to rise and China records its highest trade surplus in history with over US $1.2 trillion. This weekend, Saturday and Sunday, only on Republic TV.
Our pure Shahi Paneer Masala. Delicious, healthy, every day.
हर पल मनाओ केसरी त्योहार। विमल, बोलो जुबान केसरी।
MDH की हल्दी मिर्ची धनिया करे कमाल, ये रंग दे, ये खुशबू दे, ये तीखा, ये कम पड़े, क्या निराला MDH मसाला।
इसको घर पे लगाओगे तो शादी का तो पता नहीं, पर घर पक्का नहीं टूटेगा।
रूंगटा नहीं तो घर स्ट्रॉन्ग नहीं। रूंगटा स्टील TMT बार एकदम सॉलिड।
पहाड़ों में एक हाइकिंग स्टिक भी बन सकती है।
प्योर सूजी पास्ता उबालो मिलाओ और खाओ 8 मिनट में तैयार। क्या टेस्ट है सबका राजा हार्डकोर मसाला।
ये है सीक्रेट रेसिपी MDH का जीरा सिप जल जीरा मसाला। सिप सिप जीरा सिप जीरा सिप MDH का जल जीरा सिप जीरा सिप MDH का जल जीरा सिप।
Iran is boiling. Iranians are protesting against the Khamenei regime. U.S. President Donald Trump has urged Iranians to keep protesting and take over institutions, and has assured them that help is on the way.
Well, no, they're starting to, it looks like, and there seem to be some people killed that aren't supposed to be killed. These are violent, if you call them leaders, I don't know if they're leaders or just they rule through violence. But we're looking at it very seriously. The military is looking at it, and we're looking at some very strong options. We'll make a determination. Well, if they do that, we'll consider things targets that they wouldn't believe. If they do that, we will hit them.
थोड़े में ज्यादा स्वाद ये हित तो है इसकी खास बात। वाओ मामा क्या स्वाद है। अरे मेरे राजा राजा और प्योर मसाला। केसरिया से मन जोगी हुआ रे दिल झूम देखो मतवारा हुआ रे केसरिया से मन जोगी
हर पल मनाओ केसरी त्योहार। विमल, बोलो जुबान केसरी।
आधे बाउल दही में 4 चम्मच MDH चटनी पुदीना मसाला डाला, स्टर करो, पुदीना चटनी तैयार। MDH चटनी पुदीना मसाला। MDH।
Iran is boiling. Iranians are protesting against the Khamenei regime. U.S. President Donald Trump has urged Iranians to keep protesting and take over institutions, and has assured them that help is on the way.
Well, no, they're starting to, it looks like, and there seem to be some people killed that aren't supposed to be killed. These are violent, if you call them leaders, I don't know if they're leaders or just they rule through violence. But we're looking at it very seriously. The military is looking at it, and we're looking at some very strong options. We'll make a determination. Well, if they do that, we'll consider things targets that they wouldn't believe. If they do that, we will hit them at levels that they've never been hit before. They won't even believe it. I have options that are so strong So, I mean, if they did that, it'll be met with a very, very powerful force.
So Iran's in big trouble. It looks to me that the people are taking over certain cities that nobody thought were really possible just a few weeks ago. We're watching the situation very carefully. I've made this.
Hi there, welcome back to your favorite deep dive show on stories contemporary and consequential for India. This week we picked three, two domestic and one from foreign affairs. First up, ever wondered how the markets reacted to Moody's downgrades of India in the early years of liberalization? Those ratings agencies acted as a Damocles sword on our economy and a geopolitical weapon to control India's march to progress, as also that of the developing world. Now India is hitting back with a rating system of its own. We take a look. Second, has Donald Trump overplayed the tariff card? As he completes 1 year in office as President of the United States during his second term, what lessons we have from the trade data? And finally, a battle of narratives in which we focused on the Nehru in JNU last week takes us to Somnath this episode. How Prime Minister Modi is setting things right, as in from left of center to right of center, as a national mission. Let's get going. More people searched for the Somnath temple on Google this week than all of the last 20 years. That's the kind of impact Prime Minister Narendra Modi's brainwave of marking 1,000 years of the attack on the temple by Mahmud of Ghazni as Swabhiman Parv, festival of self-respect, had on the masses. The historical site, sacred to a great mass of Hindus, saw repeated attacks and reconstructions over the millennia. And the Swabhiman Parv marked the first major recorded attack in 1026 by Mahmud. Now, nobody denies the historicity of those attacks. After Mahmud destroyed the temple built by the Solanki king Mularaj in 1026 Common Era, there was another round of demolition that Somnath faced at the hands of Alaf Khan, a general of Alauddin Khilji, in 1299. Subsequently, Muzaffar Khan, a governor of Gujarat, desecrated the same temple in 1394. Sultan Mahmud Begda in 1459, and then during the Mughal reign of Aurangzeb, Somnath was ordered demolished thrice in 1669, 1702 and 1706, by which time it was almost turned into a mosque. This repeated destruction should ideally be seen as evidence of kind of repeated reconstruction that was done by the Hindus over all these years and centuries. But that's where history writing comes into play. Last episode, I narrated how JNU became a left bastion by design and not default. India's first Prime Minister, Jawaharlal Nehru, willed the intellectual spaces of India, from university campuses to the bureaucracy to the cultural institutions, to be filled with left-of-center ideologues, thus providing an inexhaustible supply of talent for his socialist governance. A product of that was history writing, which doctored a sanitized past of India, where either no brutal attacks on our civilization, the likes of which Somnath and Nalanda faced, happened, or if those attacks had to be acknowledged, the scale of destruction and their motivation in the iconoclasm of medieval Islam had to be muted. Enter Romila Thapar, a professor emeritus of JNU. Yes, the same JNU we discussed. She is variously described as a celebrated historian or doyen of Indian historians, who as recently as 2023 wrote a book on Somnath. This is what she writes. In 1026, Sultan Mahmud of Ghazni raided the Hindu temple of Somnath. The story of the raid has reverberated in Indian history, but largely during the Raj. It was first depicted as a trauma for the Hindu population, not in India, but in the House of Commons in London. This is according to Thapar. The triumphalist accounts of the event in Turco-Persian chronicles became the main source for most of the 18th century historians. It suited everyone and helped the British to divide and rule the subcontinent. That's what Thapar says. For her, the temple was destroyed by Mahmud in search of a medieval Arab goddess, Manat, and not because he saw in Somnath a symbol of Hindu civilizational pride. She further says in the book that the temple was rebuilt by Kumarpal as per some Jain chronicles, not because it was destroyed by Mahmud of Ghazni, but because of the corroding effect of the seas, because of which the temple lay in a dilapidated state. Such chicanery of words, and guess what? The likes of Thapar made a lifetime, complete with Padma Awards, out of this intellectual dishonesty, courtesy Nehru's patronage. Pandit Nehru himself was so discomfited by the reconstruction imagined by Sardar Patel, supervised by Kanhaiya Lal Munshi and blessed by the then President Rajendra Prasad, that he wrote as many as 17 letters marking his opposition to the Somnath project. In one cribbing apologia to Liaquat Ali Khan, the then Prime Minister of Pakistan, for example, Panditji protested that Pakistani radio was speaking of doors of the Somnath temple being brought to India from Afghanistan, while there was no truth to the story. Guess what? Maybe it did not happen immediately after independence. But Romila Thapar, the same protege of Nehru, narrates in her latest book about the episode of the doors brought back from Ghazni to Agra during the British times in the 2023 book. Yes. Such charade we have lived through. Or look at this letter that Nehru wrote to the All India Radio instructing the toning down of the coverage of the consecration event in 1951 that Rajendra Babu attended despite protests by the Prime Minister. Or these two letters written by Nehru to the chief ministers, dated May 2 and August 1, 1951, in which he hems and haws, literally, about the bad image of India the presence of his ministers would create abroad by being present there at the consecration ceremony of Somnath temple. Guess what? Nehru did not want to get the optics wrong then, just as Modi did not want to get the optics wrong now. Only the audiences are different. For Nehru, the audience was the Islamic world in West Asia and the Muslim population back home. For Modi, the audience is Hindu and at home. Irony is that Modi has been bestowed the highest civilian honors by at least a dozen Islamic nations, including Saudi Arabia, the custodian of the two holy mosques of Islam. The fact is, they care two hoots about India's internal politics so long as principles of natural justice and good governance are followed. They would not have cared then also, in Nehru's times. Just that it was only in Nehru's mind that the reconstruction of Somnath conflated with secularism and not reclamation of India's civilizational pride. Modi has corrected that wrong. That takes us to another wrong Prime Minister Modi is correcting, subtly, slowly, but surely. For those who came of age through campuses during India's early liberalization years, the terror of credit rating agencies would be sort of fresh in the minds. They literally determined our collective destinies by throwing up jumbled soup of alphabets. If you were AAA or AAA, you were in the elite company of Western nations. And the global financial establishment looked at you with benign indulgences, like cheap capital. If you were BB or worse, junk, your goose as an economy was cooked, which happened with India a couple of times with ratings downgrades through the 1990s and 2000s. Despite our size and scale, we were helpless. We did not control the process or the product. Like India, rest of the non-Western world, increasingly called Global South these days, was a mute spectator to a few deciding the fate of the many. Not anymore. There's the pushback. This coming week, India is launching its own yardstick to judge the rest of the world. It's going to be called RNI, Responsible Nations Index. Not exactly similar as the financial ratings, but that's the whole debate. Who gets to decide where you stand in the Committee of Nations? let me first dig a little deeper into the existing system. Going back to the end of the World War II and the setting up of the Bretton Woods institutions, the IMF and the World Bank, the framework cast US hegemony in stone with dollar as the default reserve currency of the world pegged to the gold, and the Transatlantic Western Bloc acting as its guarantor. Metrics like the GDP growth, debt to GDP ratio, and inflation became the universal yardsticks of judging a country's credit worthiness. So far, so good. By the 1970s, 3 private agencies monopolized the game. Recall how the mood of the Moody's, standards of S&P or Standard & Poor, or fiddling by Fitch, all 3 US-based, in the case of Fitch, French-owned, would determine the cost of borrowing for nations including India. The big 3 came to dominate almost 100% of the world ratings market by the turn of the century. There's a template of cognitive bias. The big 3 in tandem with the IMF and the World Bank, between them enforce Western ideals. Cut welfare, privatize, open markets, or face higher costs. This essentially became a system like a straw-sucking savings from the global south, funding consumption in the global north, even as the global south borrowed back at premiums dictated by the same biased ratings. It's a rigged game where ratings act as enforcers, limiting sovereignty and perpetuating inequality. Investors treated ratings as gospel. Pension funds and banks face mandates to favor high-rated bonds. Post-Cold War, that is in the 1990s and thereafter, ratings became a geopolitical weapon to align developing states with Western agendas. Argentina's 2001 default followed repeated downgrades amid IMF austerity clashes, crippling recovery. Greece's 2010 debt crisis saw agencies amplify Eurozone woes, pressuring Athens towards privatization. During the 2016 Brexit, while the S&P did downgrade the UK mildly, it hammered Brazil over impeachment, essentially a political process. Venezuela, Russia, Iran, the list is endless. Over time, the biases stood exposed. Emerging markets got harsher treatment than advanced economies, even when fundamentals were similar. It's not just numbers, it's control. During the turn of the century, Asian financial crisis, for example, the S&P downgraded countries en masse, triggering capital flight and deepening the mess. Similarly, during the COVID-19 pandemic years, 95% of the downgrades hit only developing countries, despite milder economic hits than in the West. Why? Geopolitical proximity, cultural biases, and information asymmetries favor the global north. Now the world's reacting, and BRICS is a leading example or leading the charge, calling out the ratings terrorism of the West during the 2024 Kazan summit. Their new development bank, launched in 2014, offers loans without the IMF's harsh conditions, funding infrastructure in local currencies to dodge dollar traps. Guess what? Such is the terror of the existing arrangement, even now that the NDB has to comply with sanctions on Russia. But that only proves the point. No more passive acceptance of Western models. Russia, post-2014 sanctions, created the National Rating Agency. China launched Dagong, rating itself AAA. That's where RNI, Responsible Nations Index of India, comes into the picture. A brainchild of Prime Minister Narendra Modi as part of his larger push for Atmanirbharta and shedding of colonial mindset. Why let a declining West dictate the agenda? Look at the metrics. The RNI would be structured around 3 core dimensions. 1, internal responsibility, focusing on dignity, justice, and the well-being of citizens. 2, environmental responsibility, covering stewardship of natural resources and climate action. And 3, external responsibility, measuring a country's contribution to peace, cooperation, and global stability. Does not sound like GDP, debt, etc., but that's the whole point. How do you judge India's Operation Maitri, for example, when we supplied COVID vaccines to the rest of the world? That's where responsibility as a member of the Committee of Nations comes in. Should it not get reflected in ratings? Fitch and Moody's won't. So let's do it on our own, our way. The index, or the RNI, would cover 154 countries and is built on transparent, globally sourced data to ensure credibility and comparability. JNU and IIM Mumbai have provided institutional support. The RNI would be India's first globally anchored framework to evaluate countries on responsible governance, social well-being, environmental stewardship, and global responsibility. The initiative aims to encourage global dialogue on ethics, sustainability, food security, and value-based leadership, contributing to a more balanced understanding of national performance on the global stage. The geopolitics of rating nations is all set to change. Wait till Monday. Moving on to the last segment.
This bill would allow...
And India also is bullish.
Yes, sir. So you put a 25% tariff on India for buying Russian oil. I was at the Indian ambassador's house about a month ago, and all he wanted to talk about is how they're buying less Russian oil. Would you tell the president to relieve the tariff? I really do believe that what he did with India is the chief reason India is now buying substantially less Russian oil. So I hope we pass this bill soon. And after this...
They wanted to make me happy, basically. He wanted to... Modi's a very good man.
Yes.
He's a good guy. He knew I was not happy. And it was important to make me happy. They do trade. And we can raise tariffs on them very quickly, and it would be very bad for them.
It's been a year of tariffs. But tariffs, as Donald Trump completes one as President of the United States next week in his second term. But reports and numbers on the trade front are not what the Trumpist stars or the mega supporters of Trump would have loved to hear. India's merchandise exports to the US during April-December period saw an almost 10% jump, rising to approximately $66 billion, compared to $60 billion in the previous year. In the month of November itself, the year-on-year increase was a whopping 22% at $7 billion. Even with punitive tariffs in place, industries like electronics, which are up 16%, marine products up 11%, pharmaceuticals up 5%, and engineering goods stayed strong. Overall exports also showed a rising clip of 5%. In December of last year, that is 2025, India's overall merchandise exports reached $38.5 billion, a 2 percentage point increase year on year. And the 9-month cumulative exports edged 3% to $330 billion. India's export surge defies the odds. Weren't we supposed to fold under Trump's reciprocal hammer? Instead, Indian shipments of pharma, electronics, textiles, and rice to the US grew steadily, even as duties bit into margins, of course. Why? Diversification and niches. Pharma dodged full hits due to essential status. Electronics filled the void left by China, and rice carved a premium lane despite existing tariffs. There's more to the story. While India's US export dependence dipped slightly from 23 to 20%, which means we diversified, absolute volumes rose as American buyers sought alternatives to pricier Chinese products. And even as our manufacturing edge shone through, India upped its game. Last year saw at least half a dozen FTAs getting signed from New Zealand to UAE to the UK and Oman, plus the European Economic Community. Trade deals with Canada and the EU are close. All this offsets the US friction. This resilience suggests a few takeaways. Indian exporters shifted strategies, seeking tariff exemptions, pivoting to less targeted sectors, and reinforcing global supply chain linkages. Indian smartphones found new markets like Slovakia, Israel, Latvia, Vietnam, South Korea, among others. So while tariffs might have slowed growth in targeted categories, they did not derail India's broader export strength to the US, arguably one of the signature goals of Trump's strategy. The aim was ambitious so far as Trump is concerned: shield the US manufacturing, rebalance trade deficits, and coax partners into fairer deals. But the India story proves otherwise. And that's still not the complete picture. Look at China and you realize the gaping hole in Trump's strategy. Despite facing intense US tariffs of up to 47.5%, China recorded a jaw-dropping global trade surplus of US $1.2 trillion. That colossal surplus reflected not just resilience, but strategic adaptation. Chinese manufacturers sidestepped US tariffs by boosting exports to ASEAN, up 13%, Africa up 26%, Latin America up 7%, and the EU up 8%. Domestic policies and a weakened yuan made Chinese goods cheaper abroad. Taken together, these trends paint a picture of limited leverage for Team Trump. India weathered the storm by channeling growth through resilient sectors and supply chain flexibility. China simply rerouted its trade and expanded it elsewhere. There's another interesting takeaway. The Kazan reset with China that India had is paying off. Our merchandise exports to China in the last 6 months of 2025 versus 2024 grew 37%, $14 plus billion versus 10.42 billion. China recorded notably higher Indian imports, with electronics and engineering goods seeing sizable increases. So Washington needs to take note. I spoke to a Commerce Ministry official part of the trade negotiations some time back, and if I rephrase his anecdotal account of the difference between American and European strategies when it comes to negotiating the trade deal, it comes down to one word: flexibility. Like the EU officials were comfortable to take agriculture off the table so that talks could proceed. Unlike in the case of the United States, where stalemate is centered around the GM crops and the dairy sector. Also, and that's a big factor, the official told me that he sensed that the American team came with a strong brief but limited freedom in terms of give and take. Obviously, because everything has to go right up to the top, to the White House. Why have tariffs seemingly failed? For one, substitution effect. Tariffs create vacuums that others fill. Basic economics Trump overlooked. As Chinese goods got pricier, India ramped up low-cost alternatives like generic drugs, replacing pricier Chinese APIs, or textiles dodging full steel aluminum add-ons. US importers did not reshore, they swapped suppliers, keeping trade volumes high. Data shows only 17 of the 57 targeted nations cut deals with Trump, leaving heavyweights like India and China defiant. Meanwhile, US manufacturing jobs flatlined. Tariffs raised input costs for autos and tech, killing almost 100,000 positions as per some estimates, as firms passed hikes to buyers amid 2025's inflation bout. US consumers paid anything between $200 to $500 more yearly per household, as per some think tanks. Long-term US GDP looks like taking a 0.5 percentage point or even 1 percentage point hit from disrupted supply chains. The Venezuela, Greenland, Iran headlines could be planned distractions for these reasons ahead of the midterm elections. And then there are the geopolitical costs. India's is the most classic case of standing up to Trump's tariff bullying. Well, not just tariffs, but the Pakistan pivot also, that has put the larger India-United States relationship into a downward spiral that would not be easy for just Sergio Gore, the new US ambassador to India, to retrieve. Prime Minister Modi has earned plaudits from around the world to have managed the friction with Trump so well, even as leaders around the world, particularly in Europe, seem to be capitulating. This is an evolving story and we shall keep coming back to it. Thanks for watching.
Our pure Shahi Paneer Masala. Delicious, healthy, every day.
मेरी चिमनी टूट जाएगी। What are you doing?
रानी, इस घर में कुछ है जो टूटता नहीं।
ये पिलर कभी नहीं टूटेगा। रुंगटा स्टील TMT से बना।
रुंगटा नहीं तो घर स्ट्रॉन्ग नहीं। रुंगटा स्टील TMT बार एकदम सॉलिड।
अब छोलिया हो या लोबिया, सफेद चने या काले चने,
सब कुछ मजेदार बने।
केसरिया से मन जोगी हुआ रे, दिल झूमे देखो मतवारा हुआ रे। केसरिया से मन जोगी
हर पल मनाओ केसरी त्योहार। विमल, बोलो जुबान केसरी।
थोड़े में ज्यादा स्वाद, यही तो है इसकी खास बात। वाओ मामा, क्या स्वाद है। अरे मेरे राजा,
दादी के हाथों का जादू और खुशबू से महकता घर, माँ की मुस्कुराहट और खाने की सुगंध। MDH गरम मसाला,
क्योंकि हर रिश्ता है स्वाद से जुड़ा।
Iran is boiling. Iranians are protesting against the Khamenei regime. U.S. President Donald Trump has urged Iranians to keep protesting and take over institutions, and has assured them that help is on the way.
Well, no, they're starting to, it looks like, and there seem to be some people killed that aren't supposed to be killed. These are violent, if you call them leaders, I don't know if they're leaders or just they rule through violence. But we're looking at it very seriously. The military is looking at it, and we're looking at some very strong options. We'll make a determination. Well, if they do that, we'll consider things targets they wouldn't believe. If they do that, we will hit them at levels that they've never been hit before. They won't even believe it. I have options that are so strong. So, I mean, if they did that, it'll be met with a very, very powerful force.
So Iran's in big trouble. It looks to me that the people are taking over certain cities that nobody thought were really possible just a few weeks ago. We're watching the situation very carefully. I've made the statement very strongly that if they start killing people like they have in the past, we will get involved. We'll be hitting them very hard where it hurts. And that doesn't mean boots on the ground, but it means hitting them very, very hard where it hurts. So we don't want that to happen. There have been cases like this where President Obama totally backed down. But this is something pretty incredible that's happening in Iran. It's an amazing thing to watch. They've done a bad job. They've treated their people very badly, and now they're being paid back. So let's see what happens. We're watching it.
U.S. has proven its military capacity in Operation Midnight Hammer, where the United States military bombed Iran's nuclear facilities. U.S. B-2 stealth bombers, which flew a secretive and historic long-range mission, dropped 14 massive ordnance.
From Asia's largest news headquarters, setting the agenda for Bharat. You're watching Republic.
Ladies and gentlemen, good morning and get ready for another edition of India's upcoming Future AI Summit. Now we're looking at, in fact, Republic hosting this AI Summit. Republic Media Network proudly is going to present you the future of artificial intelligence. And in fact, the Republic AI Summit and Awards 2026, a powerful convergence of technology leaders,
innovators and visionaries shaping India's AI journey. Now, centered on the theme Cracking India's AI Code, the summit will spotlight bold ideas, responsible innovation, and breakthrough leadership driving India's AI ambitions. Now, the day culminates with the Republic AI Awards 2026, honoring excellence and impact across the AI ecosystem. So, catch us live on January 19th, 2026, as India's AI future takes center stage only on Republic TV. Trump imposes a 10% additional tariff on 8 NATO nations, sending troops to Greenland for surveillance missions starting February 1st. West Bengal, a leader of opposition Suvendu Adhikari writes to governor, demands deployment of central paramilitary forces in violence-hit Murshidabad. India seeks early consular access for 16 Indian crew members detained by Iran. Eknath Shinde moves Sena corporators to a hotel amid fears of poaching and battle for BMC's mayoral post. PM to lay foundation stone for Kaziranga Elevated Corridor project worth over rupees 6,950 crore in Assam's Kalyabor. Women's double semi-final match at India Open between comes to a halt because of pigeon poop incident at Indira Gandhi Stadium. All right, viewers, beginning with breaking news coming from Karnataka. Congress leader Rajiv Gowda is facing backlash after allegedly abusing and threatening Shidlagata Municipal Commissioner Amrita Gowda over the removal of promotional banners, which were in fact starring the son of Housing Minister B.S. Zamir Ahmed. Remember, several days even after FIR was registered against him, he is still absconding, and the incident has now sparked outrage with the opposition parties, BJP and JDS, demanding strict action against him. Now, viewers, in an audio clip, Gowda is heard using swear words and even threatening to set fire to the municipal office and incite riots if his demands of reinstating the banners are not met. The commissioner has now filed a police complaint, and Gowda has been booked under various sections of the Bharatiya Nyaya Sanhita. The Congress party, meanwhile, has issued a show-cause notice to Gowda asking him to explain his actions. But of course, there's growing pressure on the party for his expulsion. The incident has rightly drawn condemn and also outrage from women organizations and the National Commission for Women as well. Remember, it is a woman officer just performing her duty, removing the unauthorized banners. And then this Congress, in fact, worker comes out and abuses, threatens this municipal officer.
Hello? Sir. Hello?
ಹಲೋ ಮೇಡಮ್, ಅದು ಬ್ಯಾನರ್ ಬಿಚ್ಚಕ್ಕೆ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರಾ?
ಇಲ್ಲ ಸರ್, ಅದು ಒಂದ್ ಬ್ಯಾನರು ಆ ರೋಡ್ ಕೋಟೆದಲ್ಲಿ ಮಧ್ಯದಲ್ಲಿ ಹಾಕ್ಬಿಟ್ಟಿದ್ರಂತೆ. ಅದೇನೋ ಗಾಡಿಗಳಿಗೆ ಗುದ್ಕೊಂಡ್ ಹೋಗ್ಬಿಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಾರೆ, ಅವ್ರು ಯಾರೋ ಪಬ್ಲಿಕ್ ಕಂಪ್ಲೇಂಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ರು ಅನ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು ನಾನು ಅಪ್ಸರ್ ಅವ್ರಿಗೆ ಹೇಳಿದ್ದೆ, ಸರ್ ಒಂಚೂರು ಸೈಡ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಕಟ್ಕೊಳಕ್ ಹೇಳಿ.
ಬ್ಯಾನರ್ ಏನೋ ಬಿಚ್ಚಿದಿರಿ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಬಂದ್ ಬೆಂಕಿ ಹಚ್ಚಿಬಿಡ್ತೀನಿ ಅಷ್ಟು ಹೇಳಿದೀನಿ. ನಾನು ಇನ್ನ ಒಳ್ಳೆತನ ನೋಡಿದಿರಿ, ಕೆಟ್ಟತನ ನೋಡಿಲ್ಲ
ಸರ್. ಒಂದ್ ನಿಮಿಷ, ಬ್ಯಾನರ್ ಬಿಚ್ಬಿಟ್ಟದು ಆಫೀಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇದೆ ಸರ್, ಅದನ್ನ ಮಧ್ಯದಲ್ಲೆಲ್ಲ ಕಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಾರೆ, ಆಕ್ಸಿಡೆಂಟ್ ಆಗಿದೆ ಅಂತೆ.
ತರ ತಿಳ್ಕೊಂಬೇಡಿ ನನ್ಗೆ.
ಸರ್ ಒಂದ್ ನಿಮಿಷ ಕೇಳಿ, ಅದು ಆಕ್ಸಿಡೆಂಟ್ ಆಗಿದೆ ಸರ್, ಪಬ್ಲಿಕ್ ಇಂದ ಕಂಪ್ಲೇಂಟ್ ಬಂದಿದೆ.
ಕಂಪ್ಲೇಂಟ್ ಬಂದ್ರೆ ಬ್ಯಾನರ್ ಹೆಂಗ್ ಕೀಳ್ತೀರಿ?
ಬ್ಯಾನರ್ ಕಿತ್ತಿಲ್ಲ ಸರ್, ತೆಗ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಅದು ಆಫೀಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಾರೆ ಸರ್. ನೀವ್ ಹಂಗೆಲ್ಲ ಮಾತಾಡ್ಬೇಡಿ, ಅದ್ ನಮ್ ಎಂಪ್ಲಾಯೀಸ್ ಗಳು ಬಿಚ್ಚಿರೋದು, ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಆಕ್ಸಿಡೆಂಟ್ ಆಗಿದೆ, ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ತೆಗ್ದಿಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಾರೆ ಸರ್ ಆಫೀಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ. ಅದನ್ನ
ತಿಳ್ಕೊಂಡ್ರೆ ಮನುಷ್ಯ ಹೇಳಿರ್ತೀನಿ. ಈಗ ಎಲ್ಲ ಕರ್ಕೊಂಡ್ ನಾಳೆ ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಓಡ್ಬಿಡ್ಬೇಕು ತಾಲೂಕಾ ಕೆಲಸ
ಸರ್. ನೋಡಿ, ಅವರು ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಪರ್ಮಿಷನ್ ಅಪ್ಲೈ ಮಾಡಕ್ ಹೇಳಿ, ಏನು ಮಾಡಿಲ್ಲ. ಬ್ಯಾನರ್ ಇಲ್ಲಿಗಲ್ ಕಟ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಹೋಗಿದ್ದಾರೆ, ಅದ್ ಅಟ್ಲೀಸ್ಟ್ ಸೈಂಟಿಫಿಕ್ ಆಗು ಕಟ್ಟಿಲ್ಲ ಸರ್. ಮಧ್ಯ ರೋಡ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಕಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಾರೆ, ಆಕ್ಸಿಡೆಂಟ್ ಆದ್ರೆ ನಾವು ರೆಸ್ಪಾನ್ಸಿಬಲ್ ಆಗಿರ್ತೀವಿ ಅದಕ್ಕೆ.
ಒಂದ್ ಸೆಕೆಂಡ್ ಕೆಲಸ
ಮಾಡಕ್ಕಾಗಲ್ಲ. ನೋಡಿ ಸರ್, ನೀವು ಕರೆಕ್ಟ್ ಆಗಿ ಮಾತಾಡಿ ಸರ್. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಎಂಪ್ಲಾಯೀಸ್ ಎವ್ರಿಬಡಿ ಹ್ಯಾಸ್ ಅ ರೆಸ್ಪಾನ್ಸಿಬಿಲಿಟಿ. ನೀವು ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಅವ್ರಿಗೆ ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಆಫ್ ಆಲ್ ಅವ್ರ ಪರ್ಮಿಷನ್ ಕೊಟ್ಟೆ, ತಗೊಂಡೇ ಇಲ್ಲ ಅವರು.
ಕಟ್ಟಿದಾರಲ್ಲ, ಪರ್ಮಿಷನ್ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದಾರಲ್ಲ
ಯಾರು
ತಂದೆ.
ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಾರೆ ಸರ್? ಅಪ್ಲಿಕೇಶನ್ ಲೆಟರ್ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿಲ್ಲ, ಮಧ್ಯದಲ್ಲಿ ಕಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಆಕ್ಸಿಡೆಂಟ್ ಆಗಿದೆ, ವಿ ಆರ್ ರೆಸ್ಪಾನ್ಸಿಬಲ್. ಏನಾದ್ರು ಆಯ್ತು ಅಂದ್ರೆ ನಮ್ಮವ್ರು ಜೈಲ್ಗೆ ಹೋಗ್ತಾರೆ ಸ್ಟಾಫ್ಸ್ ಗಳು.
ಬಸ್ ಇರೋದ್ ರೆಸ್ಪಾನ್ಸಿಬಿಲಿಟಿ ತಗೊಳ್ಳಿ. ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಬೆಳಿಗ್ಗೆ ಬಂದ್ ಎಲ್ಲಾ ಕೌನ್ಸಿಲ್ ಎಬ್ಬರ್ಸ್ತೀನಿ ಜನನಲ್ಲಿ. ಬಂದು ಹೊಡಿತಾ ಇದ್ರೆ ಚಪ್ಲಿಲಿ ಹೊಡಿಸ್ಕೊಬೇಕು
ಸರ್. ಯಾಕೆ ಹೆಂಗ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ? ಅಟ್ಲೀಸ್ಟ್ ಕಟ್ಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ ಕೇಳ್ಬೇಕಲ್ವಾ? ಸರ್ಕಲ್ ಮಿಡಲ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಕಟ್ಟಿದ್ರೆ ಯಾರು ರೆಸ್ಪಾನ್ಸಿಬಿಲಿಟಿ ತಗೋತಾರೆ ಅದನ್ನ?
ರೆಸ್ಪಾನ್ಸಿಬಿಲಿಟಿ ಇದೆಯಾ ನಿಮ್ಗೆ? ಎಲ್ಲ 31 ವಾರ್ಡ್ ಏನೇನು ಸಮಸ್ಯೆಗಳಿದೆ, ಬೆಳಗ್ಗೆ ಎಲ್ಲಾ ವಾರ್ಡಿಂದ ಎಬ್ಬರ್ಸ್ತೀನಿ ದಂಗೆನ. ಬಂದು ಹೊಡಿತಾ ಇದ್ರೆ ಚಪ್ಲಿಲಿ ಹೆಂಗಿರುತ್ತೆ ಅಂತ ತೋರಿಸ್ತೀನಿ ಏನು ಅಂತ ಮನುಷ್ಯ. ಆಮೇಲೆ ಬೆಳಗ್ಗೆ 31 ವಾರ್ಡಿಂದ ಕರೆಸ್ತೀನಿ ರೆಸ್ಪಾನ್ಸಿಬಿಲಿಟಿ.
And now, viewers, we also have some other breaking news coming in from Karnataka as well. It is not just an isolated incident that has taken place, because another woman officer was in fact threatened in the state. The BJP has now alleged it is a jungle raj under Siddaramaya's watch. The incident in fact took place in CM's home turf. We're talking about another woman officer getting threatened. In fact, death threats were issued against this officer during a land inspection exercise. And this is not an isolated incident that has taken place. First in Shidlagata and then in Siddaramaya's home turf. One after the other, we are witnessing incidents in Karnataka where women officers are getting abused. They are being issued death threats only for performing their job, doing their duty. Big question right now to ask, where is the law and order situation headed in Karnataka? And is the government not providing safe conditions for the women officers to perform their duties? Those are the big questions to ask at this point. As we reported, 2 incidents where women officers are getting death threats. They are being abused by several people. In fact, in one case, it is a political leader. In another case, it's a local rowdy who was involved in the incident. But of course, at the receiving end are the women officers who are just performing their duty. So that's the news of the hour, viewers. 2 incidents of women officers getting threatened and abused in Karnataka. All right, my colleague Sri Lakshmi is now joining me on this. Sri Lakshmi, do tell us about these 2 incidents that have been reported, first from Shidlagata and then from Siddaramaya's home turf. 2 women officers, but it is the same story. They are performing their job, but they get abused. They are issued death threats.
Yes, in the wake of these incidents, opposition leader R. Ashok has expressed his concerns in social media platform X, calling this Karnataka Congress government as a jungle raj, because honest officers are not facing these abusive threats during the regime of this Congress government. This is the second such incident which has happened in Varuna constituency where CM Siddaramaiah comes from. There was a land of 20 acres was reserved for the construction of a hospital over there, and this lady rural officer of Bandipalya, Miss Bhavya, has visited this place for a survey procedure. And at that point of time, a rowdy sheeter threatens her and uses abusive language and even snatches her mobile, and later on she gives complaint. This is second such incident after Shidlagata municipal commissioner got threatened. And that Rajiv Govt has not been yet arrested. And even in this second incident also, this person called Puttaswamy, who has threatened this lady officer, has not been arrested yet. Just that FIR has been filed against him, but the actions have not been taken against him. Now the big question is whether these officials are safe during this Congress regime. Opposition BJP has raised similar concerns. R. Ashok also asked the government to take strict action against these goondas and political leaders. Back to studio.
Right, Sri Lakshmi, clearly, if this is the situation that women officers are dealing with, it is difficult to imagine what it would be like for, let's say, a woman who's not an officer, not in a position of power, just wants to work freely. But I want to ask you, clearly, Siddaramaiah is under fire on this. What are the political reactions we're getting on this?
As of now, no Congress leaders has given any reaction regarding this Mysore incident, which has happened at Siddaramaya's village, Varuna village. But regarding Shidlaghatta incident, leaders like Pradeep Ishwar and a few of them have reacted, saying that action will be taken against these Congress leaders. But as of now, no action has been taken. A few of Congress members have written a letter to D.K. Shivkumar as well, but no action has been taken currently. State Women's Commission has written a letter to Shidlaghatta SP claiming to take action against this Congress leader, but as of now, no action has been taken. Even National Women's Commission has raised concerns, but Rajiv Gowda is absconding. It's been 4 days. And State Home Minister says that police are behind him, but no arrest yet. Why is the big question Republic Canada is raising? Why is it so difficult to catch hold of this Rajiv Gowda, who is said to be the close aide of Food Minister Muniappa?
All right, Sri Lakshmi, thank you for giving us those details. We're also being joined by BJP's Sudha Halki on this. Do tell us what is your reaction on these couple of incidents being reported where women officers are getting abused in Karnataka. It seems there is no fear of law and order. In fact, can you hear me right now?
Yeah, I can hear you.
All right. I wanted to ask you, a couple of incidents being reported from Karnataka where women officers are getting abused just for performing their job. How do you look at this? It seems there is no fear of law and order.
Absolutely. There's a jungle raj going on over here in Karnataka under the Congress government, and there is absolutely collapse of law and order. And we have seen that, there's a vindictive politics over here where you can see a BJP Karyakarta, Dalit Mahila being abused. She's been taken off her clothes and beaten by the police. And at the same time, one more woman for posting something in the social media, she has been filed, FIR has been filed against her. Whereas the police officers, the women officers have been abused in a very illogical way and unrespectful way, and the same action is not taken against these Congress leaders who are a part of this jungle raj. They are let free, they're absconding. I don't know how they can be absconding for 4 to 5 days. So they're absconding, and whereas the Mahila Karyakartas are being arrested over here. So this is a vindictive politics which is going on over here, and there's a jungle raj, and this is absolutely not accepted for a state which was once supposed to be a progressive state, and now it has become a Bihari state under this Congress government.
All right, BJP there alleging a jungle raj under Siddarmaya. Thank you, Sudha Halki, for joining us on Republic. And now we are shifting focus to Northeast, where Prime Minister Modi is on a 2-day visit to Assam in his big Northeast push. Let's take a look.
আমি তেনেকৈ অসমীয়াই মৰণপণ যুঁজ দিবলৈ সাজু হৈছো। আজি অসমত পৰিৱৰ্তন হৈছে। এতিয়া আৰু কাজিৰঙাত কোনেও গড় হত্যা কৰিবলৈ সাহস কৰিব নোৱাৰে। আজি মোদী ডাঙৰীয়াৰ নেতৃত্বত আজি অসমীয়াই আত্মবিশ্বাসী হৈছে। শ্ৰদ্ধা ৰাইজ, এই ৭,০০০ কোটি টকাৰ বিশাল এলিভেটেড কৰিডৰে যোৰহাট আৰু গুৱাহাটীৰ মাজত দূৰত্ব, গোলাঘাট আৰু গুৱাহাটীৰ মাজত দূৰত্ব 1 ঘণ্টা সময় কমাই পেলাব। ইজনক সিজনৰ ওচৰ চপাই লৈ যাব। এখন শক্তিশালী আমি অসম নিৰ্মাণ কৰিবলৈ সাহস পাম। যোৱাকালি কংগ্ৰেছ দলৰ এজন সাংসদে এই এলিভেটেড কৰিডৰক বিৰোধিতা কৰিছে। মই কংগ্ৰেছ দলৰ এই সাংসদ গৌৰৱ গগৈ ডাঙৰীয়াক ক'ব খোজো, আপুনি বিৰোধিতা কৰি থাকক, কিন্তু অসমে সপোন দেখিছে আকাশ চোৱাৰ, আৰু অসমে আকাশ চুবই। এই কথা মই আপোনাক স্পষ্টভাৱে ক'ব বিচাৰো। আজি অসমীয়াই কোনো পাকিস্তানৰ এজেণ্টৰ ওচৰত আত্মসমৰ্পণ নকৰে। আজি অসমীয়াই
never surrender to a Pakistani agent.
আত্মসমৰ্পণ নকৰে। অসমীয়াই অচিনাকি মানুহৰ মাটি উচ্ছেদ কৰি
Assamese will not surrender to any infiltrator. Assamese community will not surrender to the encroachers who had encroached land of Batadraba, Thar, the birthplace of Srimanta Shankardev.
নতুন অসমৰ স্বপ্ন এয়া হৈছে নতুন অসমৰ
We are committed to transform, and this is the dream of New Assam.
নেতৃত্বত আত্মবিশ্বাসী অটল আৰু আমি অবিচল যে আমি অসমৰ
Today, under the leadership of Prime Minister Modi, we are determined and committed
সৰ্বশ্ৰেষ্ঠ
to
ৰাজ্য
make
হিচাপে
Assam
আমি অসমক প্ৰতিষ্ঠা কৰিম শ্ৰদ্ধা ৰাইজ
most developed state in Assam.
প্ৰধানমন্ত্ৰী ডাঙৰীয়াই অসমক আৰু এটা উপহাৰ দিলে
Yesterday, Prime Minister Narendra Modi also gifted Assam
আজি আৰম্ভ কৰা
with
হৈছে আৰু গুৱাহাটী
the Vande Bharat Sleeper Express
ইয়াক প্ৰথমবাৰৰ
between Guwahati and Kolkata.
যোৱাকালি প্ৰধানমন্ত্ৰী
For the first time in the country, the services has begun from Guwahati to Kolkata.
পবিত্ৰ মঞ্চৰ পৰাই আৰু
Today, again from this stage,
উদ্ঘাটন
we are witnessing the flagging off of two trains from Dibrugarh to Rohtak and one from Kamakhya to Rohtak.
তিনিখনকৈ ৰেল উপহাৰ দিয়াৰ কাৰণে আমি প্ৰধানমন্ত্ৰী ডাঙৰীয়াক আকৌ এবাৰ ধন্যবাদ জনাইছো
We would like to thank Prime Minister Narendra Modi for gifting us 3 trains.
ধন্যবাদ আৰু আমি কৃতজ্ঞতা জনাম শ্ৰদ্ধা ৰাইজ মোৰ ভাষা নাই মই যেতিয়া মুখ্যমন্ত্ৰী হৈছিলো মই কল্পনা কৰা নাছিলো
All right, viewers, now shifting focus. Indian Open has been marred by controversy, with the latest, in fact, incident getting reported involving pigeon droppings, halting the women's doubles semi-final match between world number 1 Tan Ning and Liu Xingxu, and of course Korea's Bak Ha-na and Lee So-hee at Indira Gandhi Stadium. Now viewers, this is not an isolated incident. In fact, as earlier Republic also reported that several other incidents were also marred. In fact, there was a match that was also disrupted twice due to bird droppings. Now the stadium's poor conditions, including garbage, pan stains, cigarette butts, a monkey menace and even stray dogs, they have clearly sparked outrage, and rightly so, with players coming forward like Mia Blichfield criticizing the unacceptable and highly unprofessional environment. Now, the Badminton World Federation, in fact, has also acknowledged these issues, stating that the Indira Gandhi Sports Complex is an upgrade from previous venues, but still requires attention to cleanliness, hygiene and animal control. Meanwhile, the sports minister's silence on the matter has added to the controversy, with politicians like Abhishek Singhvi and Priyanka Chaturvedi calling for better infrastructure and governance. So clearly a national embarrassment, as the matches are now getting stalled at the stadium due to bird droppings. And our viewers, amid the controversy, the big question here arises as to why India must not host a CWG or Olympics. Now listen in to what Republic TV's Arnab Goswami has said on the badminton embarrassment. Take a listen.
We say we want to hold the Olympics in India. Great, fantastic, big statement, lovely, must be lots of publicity. We say we are going to host the Commonwealth Games in India. Terrible idea, because the Commonwealth itself as an idea is redundant. So I don't know why one would want to host the Commonwealth Games in India. I'm not for it. But even before we think or dream of hosting these tournaments, have a look at the visuals, ladies and gentlemen, on the sidelines of the 2026 India Open Badminton Tournament in New Delhi. This is it. We'll show these pictures. And these are visuals that have been put up by players. This is just months ahead of the World Badminton Championships to be held at the same venue in August. Monkeys are roaming around in the KD Jadhav Stadium in Delhi. And players from other countries, foreign countries, are showing these pictures and laughing about it. Yes, we are making a laughing stock of ourselves. Where is the sports minister? Why does the Union Sports Minister not talk about it? Where is the Badminton Association of India? When players talk about it, we'll have to show the reality. This is the reality inside the stadium where a global tournament is being held. Look at the piles and piles and piles of absolute dirt and garbage. Top seeded players across the world are saying, we don't want to play here. It's too dirty. This is not the way any country hosts a global tournament. It's very dirty. It's very unhealthy for all the players. And they're saying this is not the way any global player. And of course, stray dogs. What can we do in India without stray dogs? You know, Maneka Gandhi would love to help them around. They're just stray dogs, garbage, dirt and monkeys. What is this? Is this a zoo or a venue of a global tournament? It's all good to do, great marketing around things. But this is the reality. There are people who are pulled out of the India Open, and some people are saying, of course, it's because of extreme pollution. But people are also talking about the circumstances, and then the Badminton Association is saying, don't worry, we are putting heaters. If it's too cold, we are putting heaters inside. And this is not the only place and only time. The fact of the matter is, recently on the outskirts of Delhi, there was a cricket tournament. I think the Afghan team was here. They were complaining about the condition inside the stadium. In some places, the match had to be stopped because of pigeon poop. This happened today. Pigeon poop is being cleaned. Monkeys are roaming around. Stray dogs are inside the stadium. And there is tons of garbage all around the stadium. And we in India are hosting an international tournament. Well done to all the organizers. Where is the sports minister? I ask again. Are these the guidelines to be followed? Is this the picture of India that we want to provide? And then we're going to be over defensive about it and say, no, you see, these players are bad people. The focus they are putting out is on pollution, because that's the way the sports organizers can get away from it. But I have the social media post of world number 20 women's singles player, Mia Bleachfeld. And this is what she writes. Finally home after a long and stressful week in India. It's 2 years in a row now that I get sick during the India Open. It's really hard to accept that many weeks of work and preparation gets wasted because of bad conditions. It's not fair to anyone that we have to train and play in smog. Birds shitting on the courts, I might as well say it. I mean, there's no point being extra polite with this language. And dirt everywhere. These conditions are so unhealthy and so unacceptable. This is what is being said. We cannot become Viksit Bharat if this is what we do, if this is what we present. And the fact of the matter is, not a single head will roll. What we'll say is these foreign players have too many expectations. I would say, let us not even think of hosting the Olympics unless we get our act together on things like this. Fact of the matter is, you have the BCCI, which has a lot of money, and the IPL, which has a lot of money. They organize their own IPL tournament, cricket tournament. They make money on the sidelines. This is the condition which we leave for the world to see about the facilities that we have. There is no wake-up call. The sports minister will not be pulled up. I'm sure tomorrow there will be this whole, there will be a whole social media post around, Arnab is criticizing the government again. Arnab is criticizing the ruling party again. It's absolutely rubbish, ladies and gentlemen. I'm the same man. I am the same man who exposed the Commonwealth Games scam. I know we have the money, but I think somewhere we just do not care. And we want to cover all this up by saying there must be reasons why Republic is questioning things like this. I'm only questioning a little bit more aggressively than others. I'm surprised the others are not. If this is what has happened, heads must roll.
All right, viewers, that's all we could pack in this edition of Live and Breaking. But news and developments continue on the other side. Stay tuned.
ये है सीक्रेट रेसिपी MDH का जीरा सिप जल जीरा मसाला। सिप सिप जीरा सिप MDH का जल जीरा सिप।
इसको घर पे लगाओगे तो शादी का तो पता नहीं, पर घर पक्का नहीं टूटेगा।
रुंगटा नहीं तो घर स्ट्रॉन्ग नहीं। रुंगटा स्टील TMT बार एकदम सॉलिड।
पहाड़ों में एक हाइकिंग शिप भी बन सकती है।
प्योर सूजी पास्ता उबालो मिलाओ और खाओ 8 मिनट में तैयार क्या टेस्ट है सबका राजा आर प्योर मसाला
केसरिया से मन जोगी हुआ रे दिल झूम देखो मतवारा हुआ रे केसरिया से मन जोगी हुआ
हर पल मनाओ केसरी त्योहार विमल बोलो जुबान केसरी
MDH की देगी मिर्च
देगी मिर्च का तड़का अंग अंग फड़का
MDH की देगी मिर्च
थोड़े में ज्यादा स्वाद यही तो है इसकी खास बात वाओ मामा क्या स्वाद है अरे मेरे राजा
राजा आर प्योर मसाला
Iran is boiling. Iranians are protesting against the Khamenei regime. U.S. President Donald Trump has urged Iranians to keep protesting and take over institutions, and has assured them that help is on the way.
Well, no, they're starting to, it looks like, and there seem to be some people killed that aren't supposed to be killed. These are violent, if you call them leaders, I don't know if they're leaders or just they rule through violence. But we're looking at it very seriously. The military is looking at it, and we're looking at some very strong options. We'll make a determination. Well, if they do that, we'll consider things targets they wouldn't believe. If they do that, we will hit them at levels that they've never been hit before. They won't even believe it. I have options that are so strong. So, I mean, if they did that, it'll be met with a very, very powerful force.
So Iran's in big trouble. It looks to me that the people are taking over certain cities that nobody thought were really possible just a few weeks ago. We're watching the situation.
आर प्योर सूजी पास्ता उबालो मिलाओ और खाओ 8 मिनट में तैयार क्या टेस्ट है सबका राजा आर प्योर मसाला
मेरी चिमनी टूट जाएगी व्हाट आर यू डूइंग
रानी इस घर में कुछ है जो टूटता नहीं
ये पिलर कभी नहीं टूटेगा रुंगटा स्टील टीएमटी से बना
रुंगटा नहीं तो घर स्ट्रॉन्ग नहीं रुंगटा स्टील टीएमटी बार एकदम सॉलिड
MDH की हल्दी मिर्ची धनिया करे कमाल ये रंग दे ये खुशबू दे ये तीखा ये कम पड़े क्या निराला MDH मसाला
केसरिया से मन जोगी हुआ रे दिल झूम देखो मतवारा हुआ रे केसरिया से मन जोगी हुआ
हर पल मनाओ केसरी त्योहार विमल बोलो जुबान केसरी
आर प्योर शाही पनीर मसाला डिलीशियस हेल्दी एवरीडे
Iran is boiling. Iranians are protesting against the Khamenei regime. U.S. President Donald Trump has urged Iranians to keep protesting and take over institutions, and has assured them that help is on the way.
Well, no, they're starting to, it looks like, and there seem to be some people killed that aren't supposed to be killed. These are violent, if you call them leaders, I don't know if they're leaders or just they rule through violence. But we're looking at it very seriously. The military is looking at it, and we're looking at some very strong options. We'll make a determination. Well, if they do that, we'll consider things targets that they wouldn't believe. If they do that, we will hit them at levels that they've never been hit before. They won't even believe it. I have options that are so strong. So, I mean, if they did that, it'll be met with a very, very powerful force.
So Iran's in big trouble. It looks to me that the people are taking over certain cities that nobody thought were really possible just a few.
They call Arunachal the land of rising sun. But for me, the day begins in the dark. It begins with the cold air in my lungs and the rhythmic pulse of my heart against the quiet of the dawn. People think being a prodigy is a gift. It isn't. It's a relentless daily sacrifice. Wusu is my language. When I step onto that mat, I'm no longer just a girl from a small town. I'm a warrior. I'm physical poetry when it written in sweat and iron. Every lunge, every jump, every strike is a conversation between my soul and the world. It's a discipline that demands your everything and then asks for more. वुसू बेसिकली एक चाइनीज स्पोर्ट्स चाइनीज से ओरिजिन करता है ये इसका ओरिजिन चाइना है ये मार्शल आर्ट्स काइंड ऑफ मार्शल आर्ट्स है वैसे तो ओरिजिनल तो कुंफू कहते हैं पर गेम में लाने के लिए इनको वुसू करके नाम रखा गया वुसू दो पार्ट में डिवाइड है एक सांडा कहते हैं और वो कॉन्टेक्ट फाइट रहता है एंड देन दूसरा ताउलू कहते हैं जो मैं करती हूँ वो डेमोन्स्ट्रेशन हुआ हमें इवेंट वगैरह करके दिखाना होता है कारपेट में हम परफॉर्म करते हैं
In the high altitude silence of Itanagar, Neipong Lamu is busy measuring the road with her breath and her unyielding grit. These morning miles are the foundation. In the quiet of the dawn, she finds her center. Every stride is a reminder of her journey from the small town of Seppa. Away from the flashing lights and cheering crowds, the foundation of a champion is laid here in the shadows of the Himalayas. The transition from the park to the academy is a shift from nature to the lethal. The soft rhythm of the run is about to be replaced by the explosive power of the arena.
मैंने अपना स्पोर्ट्स जर्नी एक्चुअल में शुरू किए थे जो हमारा स्टेट में अरुणाचल प्रदेश में एक स्पोर्ट्स एकेडमी है लोता एकेडमी यार में जो एक ही है गवर्नमेंट का थ्रू से होता है ये स्पोर्ट्स एकेडमी करके, इसमें आपको पढ़ाई भी होता है एंड देन स्पोर्ट्स भी खेल सकते हैं आप। तो यहाँ का इंटरव्यू हुआ था, यहाँ में हम अरुणाचल के सारे डिस्ट्रिक्ट से हमें इंटरव्यू का नॉर्म से कि 2 बॉयज़ एंड 1 गर्ल को सेलेक्ट किया जाता है हर डिस्ट्रिक्ट से। तो मैंने इंटरव्यू दिया मेरा अराउंड नवंबर 2013 के समथिंग में। उसके बाद मैं पास हो गई, मुझे मिल गया यहाँ आने को। मैं बहुत एक्साइटेड थी क्योंकि मैं बचपन से स्पोर्टिंग में बहुत इंटरेस्ट था, भले ही मैं इतना स्ट्रॉन्ग नहीं था। मैं कोशिश किया स्पोर्ट्स मीट में स्कूल में करा है, पर कभी मेडल नहीं आया, पर मेरे को था कि मेरे को खेलना है, ये था मेरा। तो
हमको एक बार बोला था कि पापा मैं कराटे खेलना चाहता है बोल के, नहीं बेटी तुमको तो मारेगा वो लोग जो है, तो तुम क्या करेगा। तो मैंने ऐसे बोला, तो मैंने अच्छा से ध्यान से पढ़ाई करो, कराटे में मैं भी पहले खेल के आया, पापा भी, तो बहुत मारपीट होता है। तो बेटी ने बोला वो हमको मारेगा तो मैं भी मारेगा ना, यही हमको रिप्लाई दिया। तो मैं सोचा है तो ये थोड़ा इंटरेस्ट है।
मेरे को वैसे फर्स्ट मैं खेला था कराटे चौथा में एंड देन यहाँ जब आया संगलानी स्पोर्ट्स एकेडमी में तो मेरे को जूडो खेलने का बहुत पसंद था। तो हमें क्या होता है एक दिन दिया जाता है सब गेम को, हमें एग्जामाइन देखना है, पसंद आया तो खेलना है ऐसे। तो मैं हर सब जगह गया तो मेरे को ताकि जूडो खेलना है मेरे को। एंड देन बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट थिंग्स ये कि जब हम पहली बार यहाँ आए थे, हम पहला बैच है वुसू का, तो वुसू भी अरुणाचल में फर्स्ट टाइम आया था इधर। ये स्कूल में पहली बार वुसू का इंक्लूड हुआ था गेम जो। तो कोच भी हमारा नया ही था इधर, तो कोई स्टूडेंट नहीं था दिखाने की डेमो। जैसे जूडो का हो तो वो हमें दिखा रही होता है जूडो, एंड देन वुसू का कोई नहीं था। तो हमारा जो कोच है, जो मेरा प्रेजेंट कोच है अभी, उन्होंने हमें लैपटॉप में दिखाया वुसू क्या होता है एक्चुअली। तो बहुत फैसिनेटिंग था वो, इसी सुंदर कपड़ा पहनते हैं एंड देन फाइटिंग वाला जो भी इतना अलग लगा है बाकी गेम से। हाँ वैसे तो हम पता है ताइक्वांडो, बैडमिंटन ये सब पता है, पर ये बहुत डिफरेंट लगा, मतलब कुछ अजीब ही था। जम मार रहे वो लोग, कुछ बहुत यूनिक लगा है। तो बहुत मन किया इधर घुसने का। तो मैं सोच लिया कि ठीक है मैं वुसू घुसूँगा क्योंकि नया भी है और कुछ नया भी करना है। वही था। जब हमारा दिन आया चुनने का तो हम वुसू गए थे, सर हमारा चेक किया कि कौन कौन सा है, ठीक है ना नहीं है, इन सब देखते हैं। तो फिर मुझे वुसू में सेलेक्ट किया। उसके बाद मेरा 2014 से ऑफिशियली मेरा वुसू जर्नी स्टार्ट हुआ।
परिवार में हम लोग बहुत आर्गू हो गया, बहुत मैंने तू में झगड़ा भी हो गया, एक दूसरा को कुछ 2 दिन जैसे बात भी नहीं किया इसका कारण से। तो मैं पूरा जिद हो रहा था आपको हम पढ़ाना है बोलते। तो ये मैच में बहुत अच्छा था, इंजीनियरिंग वगैरह में हम लेके जाएगा ऐसे सोचा था। लेकिन बेटा और मेरा ये क्या बोलता है बेटी का ये जुआई लोग जो है, तो कोई जानने वाला लोग हमको बहुत मैंने काउंसलिंग किया। ये जो स्पोर्ट्स भी एक तो वो है क्या बोलता है एक डिग्री है ना, इसको भी मैंने सिर्फ पढ़ाई में नहीं होता है, स्पोर्ट्स भी आपका नाम कमा सकता है और दुनिया को मैंने बता सकता है। स्पोर्ट्स भी ऐसे ऐसे रास्ता है, ऐसे बोल के हमको काउंसलिंग किया। तो अब मैं सोचा है हाँ सचमुच का, क्योंकि बच्चा को अच्छा से पढ़ाना होता तो छोटा से क्लास 5-6 से अच्छा स्कूल में दाखिल करके उसको बेसिक लेके चलना चाहिए था। मैं ऐसे नहीं किया, उसको आधा स्पोर्ट्स में करने दिया, आधा पढ़ाई करने दिया। तो मैं भी सोचा उसको मेकअप करने में थोड़ा तकलीफ लगेगा, उसमें डायरेक्ट स्पोर्ट्स में वो जो है फोकस हो गया। तो इसी में चलने दो बोल के, तो मैं जो है वो लोग का बात को मान के मैं भी हाँ कर दिया। ठीक है तब तो बेटी आज से आप जो स्पोर्ट्स में आप जहाँ भी जो भी पापा को बोलेगा, जो भी मन आपका कोई भी समय में अब हमको डायरेक्शन देगा, मैं एकदम बारिश हो या धूप हो मैं पहुँच जाएगा, मैं साथ देगा। ऐसे करके अभी तक मैंने चल रहा है।
Observe the stillness. In the world of Taiji Kwan, Neipong is a master of balance. Every lunge and every jump is a calculation of gravity and grace. This is the result of thousands of hours of repetition. Her rise was revolutionary. From winning gold at the National Games to dominating the Nordic Open in Sweden, she has displayed a maturity that defies her years in a sport that demands perfection in every millisecond. She has learned that her greatest opponent is the person in the mirror.
सर ये 2023 में जब मेरा बहन का इंडिया गेम में फॉर एशियन गेम्स के लिए सेलेक्ट हुआ था, वी वर वेरी हैप्पी कि हमारा फैमिली से, हमारा जो स्टेट से एक मेरा बहन जो है वो इंडिया को रिप्रेजेंट करेगा इन एशियन गेम्स। लेकिन अनफॉर्चुनेटली जब उनका ट्रेनिंग चल रहा था तो उनका इंजरी हो गया उसमें। स्पोर्ट्स पर्सन का जो ACL टीयर हो जाता है, जो ACL टीयर जो है वो बहुत बड़ा होता है सर। स्पोर्ट्स पर्सन का करियर में वो जो बहुत इम्पैक्ट पड़ता है। शाम को बहन ने मुझे फ़ोन किया, भैया उनका पेन हो रहा है, उनका नी जो है वो डिसबैलेंस सा हो रहा है। समझ में आ गया था हमको कि उनको ACL टीयर है। तो फिर बाद में वहाँ पे MRI कराया, कंफर्मेशन हो गया कि उनका कम्प्लेक्स ACL टीयर था। देन मैंने बहन को बात किया, पापा से डिस्कस किया। देन मी एंड माई वाइफ, हम बहन को वो श्रीनगर से उसको दिल्ली आना था और हमको अरुणाचल से दिल्ली आना था। तो दिल्ली में हमने उनका ACL रिकन्स्ट्रक्शन वगैरह कराया अच्छे से। बट द थिंग इज़ दैट वो जो रिकन्स्ट्रक्शन तो हमने करा दिया अच्छे से, बट उनका जो इंजरीज जो है, जो उनका जो परफॉर्मेंस जो है उसमें बहुत इम्पैक्ट आ गया था। नॉर्मली मतलब चल भी नहीं सक रहा था वो समय में। हमको लगा था लाइक 6 to 8 मंथ्स के बाद में नॉर्मल सा एटलीस्ट थोड़ा वॉक भी कर सकेगा। बट मेरा बहन के साथ में ऐसा नहीं हुआ। बहन को बहुत तकलीफ था उसको सच में। तो वो समय में हमारा फैमिली के लिए भी बहुत दुख का समय चल रहा था।
Every champion has a beginning. And for Neipong, it started in the rugged terrains of Sepa. It was here that the warrior spirit was first ignited. The support of a family, the pride of a community, and the hunger to prove that talent knows no boundaries.
नेपंग ने बहुत गाइड किया, मतलब नहीं क्या जैसे बैड फ्रेंड्स होते हैं ना, थोड़ा नोटी होते हैं क्या है बदमाश मैंने भी बहुत, लेकिन जिसमें भी नेपंग ने गाइड किया मतलब। थोड़ा पनिशमेंट दिया हमारा, बोला है उन लोगों को, मतलब उन लोग से दूर रहो, दोस्त करो, लेकिन थोड़ा दूर रहो, अपने गेम पे फोकस करो। दीदी ने बहुत गाइड किया। स्टिल कभी कभी जो इमोशनली हम लोग साइकोलॉजिकली जो डाउन फील करते हैं ना, उसमें भी दीदी ने बहुत हेल्प किया। मतलब ऐसा मत सोचो ये टफ टाइम पे ऐसा होता है, बहुत सारा गाइडलाइंस थे।
Neipong represents a new breed of Indian athlete, one that comes from the heart of the Northeast, carrying the spirit of her ancestors into the global arena. She isn't just a sports person. She's a lighthouse for every young girl in these mountains who dreams of a life beyond the horizon.
I have faced the hurdles that no one sees. The injuries, the setbacks, the moments where the world felt too heavy to lift. बोला जाए तो इंजूर बहुत बड़ा दुश्मन रहता है हमारे लिए। मैं सुनती थी पहले बिफोर माई इंजरी, मैं सोचता था कि मेरा तो इंजरी नहीं होगा, तो मैंने कभी वो चीज़ को, साइकोलॉजी बहुत स्ट्रॉन्ग होना होता है, मेंटली स्ट्रॉन्ग, इमोशनल बहुत स्ट्रॉन्ग रहना पड़ता है। मेरे को नहीं पता था ये। जब मैं अपना खुद फेस किया वो इंजरी स्टेज, एंड देन वो बहुत स्ट्रेस, बहुत डिप्रेशन में जाने का तो बहुत हो जाता है। मतलब आप आपका दोस्त को देख रहे हो कि वो इतना अच्छा से खेल पा रहे हो, और आपके अंदर में भी वो आग है कि खेलना चाहती हूँ मैं, पर आपका फिजिकल आपको सपोर्ट नहीं कर पा रहे हैं। कंपैरिजन आप खुद से करने लग जाते हो कि मैं पहले कहाँ था, कहाँ हो सकता था, एंड देन वो रिग्रेट बहुत आ जाते हैं कि क्यों किया मैंने वो जंप, अगर वो नहीं किया होता तो मेरा नी अब तक होता, मैं भी खेल रहा होता। ऐसे बहुत थॉट्स आते हैं हमें। मेंटली बहुत दुख हो गया था। मैं तो बहुत बार अकेले में भी रोती थी। मतलब मेरा भैया बोलते हैं कि दे उन लोग का क्या है कि वो मेरा दुख नहीं देख सकते थे। वो बोलते थे कि छोड़ दो, अगर इतना परेशान हो रहा है तो आप गेम को छोड़ दो ना, हम लोग कोई कुछ नहीं बोल रहा है आपको अलग जो है हम सपोर्ट करेंगे, आपको हम लोग दर्द भी नहीं देख सक रहे। वो सुन के फिर वो मेरा और रोने का मन करता है, पर ऐसे कि मैं छोड़ना नहीं चाह रहा गेम, क्योंकि मेरा एक मकसद है कि मैं एशियन गेम्स तक जैसे भी, क्योंकि वुशु का वही है तो हमारा सबका वही सपना है कि आगे तक एक बार खेलना है। अगर खेलने को निकल गया ना मैं, इसलिए मेरा अभी और लाइफ में मेरा एक ही गोल है कि मेरे को अच्छा खेलना है और अच्छा मेडल लेना है इंडिया के लिए एशियन गेम्स में। तो वो मकसद जो अधूरा रह रहा है तो मैं छोड़ना नहीं चाह रहा बीच में। छोड़ तो सकता हूँ पर नहीं छोड़ पा रहा। मैं कल को नहीं सो पाऊँगी रात को कि मेरा जो मकसद था, मेरा जो गोल था वो कंप्लीट नहीं हो पाया, तो लाइफ में रिग्रेट भी हो जाएगा। और जो ड्यूरिंग इंजरीज था वो बहुत स्ट्रेसफुल होता है, नेगेटिव बहुत आ जाते हैं उसमें कि ये डाउट रहता है कि आगे जाके कुछ होगा कि नहीं होगा फ्यूचर में। एंड बट द वॉरियर डजंट लुक फॉर एन ईजी पार्ट, शी लुक्स फॉर द स्ट्रेंथ टू फोर्स हर ऑन। व्हेन आई मूव आई एम कैरिंग द रिदम ऑफ द हील्स। In the fire of a billion dreams. I have seen the summit, and I know what it takes to stand there.
स्पोर्ट्स जो पर्सन होते हैं काफ़ी मेंटली, फिजिकली और इमोशनली भी काफ़ी उनमें स्ट्रॉन्ग होता है ऑलमोस्ट। तो लेकिन नथिंग ऐसे स्पोर्ट्स वुशु प्लेयर्स अभी रिसेंटली भी वो आफ्टर इतना वो स्ट्रगल करने के बाद वो खुद पे अपना से मेहनत करके कोच के साथ फैमिली तो ओवरऑल सब ये करके वो अभी उसके रिसेंटली वो ये में भी वर्ल्ड ये में चैम्पियंस ये में उसमें स्वीडन में जो हुआ था उसमें भी वो जीत के आए, तो इसलिए हम कांग्रेचुलेट करते हैं।
In the modern era, Wushu is as much about science as it is about spirit. Neipong's training involves the constant refinement of the flow state. The athlete and the art become one. The sport becomes an extension of her arm. The movement becomes a blur of silver and silk.
सब जूनियर हम 2 साल खेला है और जूनियर 3 साल। तो सब जूनियर दो एक जो सबसे पहले तमिलनाडु की कन्याकुमारी वो 42 kg में खेला था, तो वहाँ में ब्रॉन्ज आया मेरा। फिर नेक्स्ट में गया हिमाचल प्रदेश, तो वहाँ में भी सेम वेट में गया, फिर वहाँ में भी ब्रॉन्ज आया। फिर जूनियर पहुँचे हम, फिर वो भी तमिलनाडु गया, फिर वहाँ थोड़ा रिजल्ट नहीं आया। फिर स्कूल गेम में उस दिन को कश्मीर में हुआ था, वहाँ में 48 kg ब्रॉन्ज आया।
As the world watches, she stands as the sun around which the future of Indian Wushu revolves. Competing not just against opponents, but against the record books. Every shout of victory and every drop of sweat is a step toward a singular destination.
2026 का एशियन गेम्स इस बार टोक्यो जापान में है, तो इस बार हम जाने का ज़्यादा अच्छा मौका है, हम जाने का पूरा कोशिश करेंगे। मेरा सपना है कि मैं भी इंडिया को रिप्रेजेंट करूँ एशियन गेम्स बड़े लेवल गेम में, एंड देन मैं गोल्ड जीतूँ और इंडिया का नेशनल गाना एंथम बजे। वो मोमेंट सबके लिए बहुत स्पेशल रहता है, नॉट ओनली फॉर मी, सब जितना भी स्पोर्ट्स प्लेयर है। जैसे आप स्पोर्ट्स मैदान में आ जाते हैं तो आपका वही सपना रहता है कि इंडिया के लिए खेलना है। पहले तो ये फीलिंग नहीं था इंडिया के लिए खेलना, क्योंकि हम छोटे थे, इतना स्पोर्ट्स का बारे नहीं आइडिया था। तो जब पहली बार खेला मेरे को अपना अरुणाचल का पहनने का मन था। जब पहली बार गेम किया अरुणाचल का नाम आ गया ट्रैक सूट पहना है तो बहुत खुश हुआ है, बहुत ज़्यादा खुश हुआ था। उसके बाद जब सीनियर लेवल आया तो पता चला कि बाहर जाना है, इंडिया पहनने को मिलेगा, अरुणाचल तो बहुत दूर की बात। तो जब इंडिया का इतना खुशी हो, हम कैसे बोलेगा, हम लोग बहुत अच्छा लगता है, हमें ज़्यादा ही खुश हो जाते हैं हम जब इंडिया अगर दिख जाए ना कपड़े पे, ट्रैक सूट पे, टी शर्ट पे। तो
ये एशियन गेम को लेके मैंने कुछ सपना था, मेरा बेटी एशियन गेम में पार्टिसिपेट करेगा तो अपना इंडिया को नाम रोशन करेगा बोल के ऐसे सपना तो हुआ था, लेकिन अनफॉर्चुनेट मैंने चाइना जो है वीज़ा नहीं देने का कारण से वहाँ नहीं जा पाया है। लेकिन अभी भी मेरा दिल में वही सोचता है कि इसका तो अभी इतना लंबा और ज़िंदगी है, बहुत और कुछ कर सकता है। और भरोसा है मैंने अभी आने वाला यानी टोक्यो में ये एशियन गेम होगा तो वहाँ पे पार्टिसिपेट करने के लिए थोड़ा अच्छा से तैयारी करने से ठीक है, वहाँ में पार्टिसिपेट करने से तो मैं सोचता हूँ मैंने इंडिया का, अपना इंडिया का अरुणाचल से छोटा से एक गांव से इंडिया का नाम को रोशन करेगा, मैं यही उम्मीद करता है।
The mist has returned to the hills. The day's training is done, but the hunger remains. Neipong Lamu knows that the road to the top is never ending. A journey of 1,000 strikes, 1,000,000 breaths, and a single golden goal.
मैंने 2023 में जो एशियन गेम्स था हांगझाओ चाइना में, मैं वहाँ सेलेक्ट हुई थी, मेरा इंडिया कैंप लगा था। तो ड्यूरिंग मेरा प्रैक्टिस इवनिंग में मेरा जंप के टाइम में मेरा नी थोड़ा इंजर हो गया, मतलब नी थोड़ा अंदर तरफ चला गया, तो सोइलिंग हो गया ख़राब से। मेरे को तो नहीं पता, मैं सोचा ठीक हो जाएगा करके, मैं ऐसे ही पड़ा हुआ था रूम पे। सर लोग भी सोचा कि कोई बात नहीं, ठीक हो जाएगा। जब सोइलिंग, क्योंकि सोइलिंग बहुत ज़्यादा हो गया था, तो आफ्टर थोड़ा सोइलिंग कम होने के बाद मेरे को MRI पे भेजा। श्रीनगर में थे हम इंडिया के, तो MRI किया तो पता चला कि मेरा ACL टीयर हो गया, 3rd टीयर हो गया, मतलब मेरे को सर्जरी का बहुत अर्जेंट करना पड़ेगा ऐसे बोला डॉक्टर ने। तो मैं सोचा कि एक और बार करती हूँ मैं, क्योंकि मेरे को डाउट था कि सोइलिंग का वजह से शायद अच्छा से नहीं आया। तो मैं दिल्ली आया एंड देन दिल्ली में आके मैं फिर से MRI किया दोबारा। तो वहाँ मैं MRI करके मैं डॉक्टर से मिली, तो डॉक्टर ने बोला कि बहुत जल्दी आपको सर्जरी करना होगा, क्योंकि उनका सजेशन अच्छा भी था कि मेरा बॉडी अभी फिट था तो रिकवरी में जल्दी होगा करके। मैंने जल्दी किया था, सर्जरी किया था मैंने। सर्जरी के बाद 2 महीने बाद मैंने नेशनल गेम्स खेला था, मेरा गोवा में जो था, अच्छा रिकवरी हो गया था। नेशनल गेम्स खेला मैंने, निर्मा में मैं गोल्ड तो नहीं ले पाई, मैं सिल्वर मिला था वहाँ पे। उसके बाद मैं कंटिन्यू प्रैक्टिस किया, पर ड्यूरिंग प्रैक्टिस में थोड़ा मेरा फिर जंप वगैरह रहता है, ऐसे हो कि मैं थोड़ा शायद मैं नी ट्रिगर होते गया एंड थोड़ा नी का रिकवरी जो बहुत अच्छा से हो जाना चाहिए था, वो प्रोसेस जो थोड़ा लेट हो गया मेरा। तो उसके बाद मैं थोड़ा ब्रेक ले लिया सर। ब्रेक के बाद मैंने रिसेंटली अभी गेम खेला है, जून को मैं मॉस्को गए थे मेरा, वहाँ पे मैंने ब्रॉन्ज जीता एंड देन अभी रिसेंटली मैं दिसंबर को स्वीडन गया था, वहाँ पे मैंने गोल्ड जीता। और छत्तीसगढ़ में हमारा जो फेडरेशन हुआ था वहाँ पे मैंने गोल्ड जीता। It's not about flash of the lights or the roar of the crowd. It's about the work done in the shadows. It's about the discipline when no one is watching. My journey is written in every drop of sweat. My legacy is carved in every stride. My name is Neipong Lamu. I am an Indian Wushu player and this is my story.
थोड़े में ज्यादा स्वाद, ये तो है इसकी खास बात। वाओ मामा, क्या स्वाद है। अरे मेरे राजा,
राजा और मसाला केसरिया से मन जोगी हुआ रे, दिल झूमे देखो मतवारा हुआ रे, केसरिया से मन जोगी हुआ।
हर पल मनाओ केसरी त्योहार। विमल, बोलो जुबान केसरी।
दादी के हाथों का जादू और खुशबू से महकता घर, माँ की मुस्कुराहट और खाने की सुगंध। MDH गरम मसाला,
क्योंकि हर रिश्ता है स्वाद से जुड़ा।
आर प्योर सूजी पास्ता, उबालो मिलाओ और खाओ,
8 मिनट में तैयार।
क्या टेस्ट है सबका राजा आर प्योर मसाला।
Iran is boiling. Iranians are protesting against the Khamenei regime. U.S. President Donald Trump has urged Iranians to keep protesting and take over institutions, and has assured them that help is on the way.
Well, no, they're starting to, it looks like, and there seem to be some people killed that aren't supposed to be killed. These are violent, if you call them leaders, I don't know if they're leaders or just they rule through violence. But we're looking at it very seriously. The military is looking at it, and we're looking at some very strong options. We'll make a determination. Well, if they do that, we'll consider things targets that they wouldn't believe. If they do that, we will hit them at levels that they've never been hit before. They won't even believe it. I have options that are so strong. So, I mean, if they did that, it'll be met with a very, very powerful force.
So Iran's in big trouble. It looks to me that the people are taking over certain cities that nobody thought were really possible just a few weeks ago. We're watching the situation very carefully. I've made the statement very strongly that if they start killing people like they have in the past, we will get involved. We'll be hitting them very hard where it hurts. And that doesn't mean boots on the ground, but it means hitting them very, very hard where it hurts. So we don't want that to happen. There have been cases like this where President Obama totally backed down. But this is something pretty incredible that's happening in Iran. It's an amazing thing to watch. They've done a bad job. They've treated their people very badly, and now they're being paid back. So let's see what happens. We're watching it.
U.S. has proven its military capacity in Operation Midnight Hammer, where the United States military bombed Iran's nuclear facilities. U.S. B-2 stealth bombers, which flew a secretive and historic long-range mission, dropped 14 massive ordnance penetrators, also known as bunker buster bombs, on 3 critical Iranian nuclear sites: Fordow, Natanz, and Esfahan. As the situation between the U.S. and Iran escalates further, Israel's official state aircraft, Wing of Zion, has departed from Nevatim Air Force Base. The aircraft, which contains a private office, a war room, and sophisticated defense systems, serves as the primary transport for the Prime Minister.
From Asia's largest news headquarters, setting the agenda for Bharat. You're watching Republic.
और हमारे बीच में विक्रांत मैसी मौजूद हैं। सादगी ही असली स्टारडम होता है, यह हम आपको देखकर समझते हैं। छोटे पर्दे से शुरुआत की, टीवी धारावाहिक से आपने पहचान बनाई, मेहनत की, बालिका वधू जैसे शो किए और फिर सिनेमा में अपने दम पर पहचान बनाई। बड़ी बात क्या है, विक्रांत मैसी उस पीढ़ी का चेहरा है जिसने स्टारडम नहीं मांगा बल्कि अपने अभिनय से कमाया है उसे, और ये आपकी ताकत है विक्रांत। 12th फेल में मनोज कुमार शर्मा का किरदार हो, लुटेरा छपाक या हसीन दिलरुबा जैसी फिल्में, हर भूमिका में विक्रांत मैसी ने साबित किया है कि अभिनय सिर्फ दिखावा नहीं है, ये समर्पण से आता है। एक साधारण परिवार से आकर अपनी मेहनत, अनुशासन और संवेदनशील अभिनय के बल पर राष्ट्रीय पुरस्कार तक का सफर आपने तय किया है। जोरदार तालियों से स्वागत करिए। सेशन को आगे बढ़ाएंगे मेरे सहयोगी सलोनी श्रीवास्तव।
विक्रांत, पहले तो आपका बहुत स्वागत है। संगम का ये दूसरा एडिशन है। जो दर्शक अभी हमारे साथ जुड़े हुए हैं, मैं बताऊं कि विक्रांत के साथ ये रिश्ता संगम के पहले एडिशन से जुड़ गया था और अब और मजबूत हो गया है। जोरदार तालियों के साथ एक बार फिर मैं चाहूंगी विक्रांत का आप स्वागत करें।
थैंक यू सो मच सलोनी जी। थैंक यू टू द एंटायर टीम ऑफ रिपब्लिक भारत। आप सबका बहुत बहुत शुक्रिया मुझे दोबारा यहाँ इनवाइट करने के लिए। एंड थैंक यू फॉर ऑल द लव। इतना प्यार, इतना मान, इतना सम्मान आप सब ने दिया। बहुत अच्छा लग रहा है यहाँ आके। थैंक यू।
विक्रांत, जब पिछले साल हम बैठे थे, ऐसे ही आमने सामने बैठे थे और मेरे सामने एक वर्सेटाइल कामयाब एक्टर बैठा था जो बहुत हम्बल है, बहुत डाउन टू अर्थ है, बहुत प्यार से बात करता है। और ये मैं बताऊं, बहुत मुश्किल है किसी स्टार को आप देखिए, वो ज़रा सी कामयाबी चखते हैं और एक अजीब सा एरोगेंस आ जाता है। लेकिन ये शख्स, मैं कहूँगी, बिल्कुल आप बदले नहीं। लेकिन इस बार जब आप मेरे सामने बैठे हैं